People's State Bank is a locally owned and managed bank with convenient locations in southwest Wisconsin and northeast Iowa. If you're looking for a place where you're more than just a number, but still have access to convenient technology and low fees, People's State Bank is it. As a community bank, they're proud to support many of the local charities, county fairs, community events, and more. When you become a part of People's State Bank, you can be confident that you're standing with a good cause. People's State Bank, member FDIC.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. High school baseball coming up. Lancaster and Fennimore on AM 1590 WPVL and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel.
This is a Queen Bee Radio High School Sports presentation. Queen Bee Radio proudly brings you People's State Bank and Grant Regional Health Center coverage of high school sports. Presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. And sponsored by House Electric, Brian's Auto Body and Paint, Vitech Incorporated, Carver's Hardwood Flooring, Claire Bank, Donnie's Tire and Auto, Fuller's Milker Center, Gary's Pest Control, Community First Bank, Guy's Truck and Tractor Service, Pernson's Ace Hardware, Krantz Auto Parts, the Peterson Agency, the Raleigh Cheese House, Mound City Bank, the Russell Law Office, the Shoebox, Sloan Implement, Timmerman's Talents, Tricor Insurance, and Wolf Construction.
The high school baseball second season is here, even if a bit late. Regardless, your next loss is your last. Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to high school baseball, playoff baseball on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, AM 1590 WPVL.com, and the AM 1590 WPVL mobile app, sports radio app, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Slack Auction and Realty at H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. From Kimball Murray Field on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, this is the Division III Osseo Fairchild Sectional Regional Semifinal, delayed one day due to weather. The 8th seed Lancaster Flying Arrows against the number 1 seed Fennimore Golden Eagles, ranked 8th in Division III. The winner today plays 5th seed Mineral Point or 4th seed New Glarus in the regional final. Tomorrow we'll have that regional final for you somewhere on the Queen Bee Radio family of stations and YouTube, now that we got it to work. From the Wolf Construction broadcast table behind the home plate, I'm Steve Prestegard along with Seth Wilson. Just graduated from and completed playing baseball for Platteville High School. And there's one absolute rule about baseball at any level. You go as far as your pitching takes you. And Seth, if you look at Fennimore's trio of arms, the Golden Eagles really could fly a long way this postseason.
You know, you're absolutely right. When you have a depth in pitching, it's one of the most valuable things in playoff baseball. You look at any level, and you need guys to fill in. It's the age-old argument, do I pitch my best guy now and maybe, not have him for later on and risk those games, or do I not pitch that guy but then risk not getting to that game? It's always a juggling act, and I think we're going to see the best out of the two pitchers tonight. The guys on the mound today will be for Fennimore Casey Dreesen, who comes in at 6-0 with an ERA of 1.32 against Shea Lucky, who comes in at 2-0 with a 368 earned run average, and that's, I guess the decision is that's the best they got in both cases. Of course, Fennimore's got an enviable choice, actually, of guys who they like to pitch, because they've got
Dreesen at 6-0. They have Ethan Scheckler at 5-0, and they have another pitcher who's Tyson Starkey at 7-0. So it's not too hard. It's like, gee, who do I have to choose today?
You know, it's interesting. Nolan Wolf is Lancaster's ace, if there were to pick an ace. So it's interesting to see Lucky on the mound tonight against the number 1 seed.
Well, it must be, that's the decision of Brian Knapp at any rate. And we'll see if it works out, as the phrase goes. Lancaster comes into the game having beaten Riverdale 4-2 way back on Thursday. On the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Well, we have some scores in progress already, games that are going on right now. Belmont leading Barneveld 7-4 in sectional semifinal softball. That is on 97.7 Country WGLR. Also in baseball, Prairie du Chien and Cuba City scoreless in the top of the 5th. And that is on Super Hits 106. We will also have today North Crawford at River Ridge. That'll be on X1071. Their game time is going to be close to our game time. Again, the winner of this game will take on Mineral Point or New Glarus. The other half of the regional matchup, Prairie du Chien, as we mentioned, at Cuba City, and they're 0-0 in the 5th. That winner will take on Dodgeville, the number 2 seed, which beat Wisconsin Heights 1-0 Monday. Also in Division 3, this Osseo Fairchild sectional, these are regional finals, not semifinals. Auburndale, the number 7 seed, having knocked off Osseo Fairchild. They were at 3rd seed Mondovi, and Vroka, the number 4 seed, taking on number 1 seed Westby, which is ranked 5th. By the way, in Division 3. When we return the Raleigh Cheese pregame show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersection of Highways 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County.
Don't forget the cheese.
We're back in 60 seconds on AM 1590 WPBL.
Tricor Insurance works with leading insurance carriers like Auto Owners Insurance to provide honest and reliable service when you need it most.
For one, I want them to know that they're not alone. They know that no matter what happens when it comes up, that they can count on us to assist them through that process, whatever it may be.
Tricor and Auto Owners Insurance for your home, auto, and more. Visit TricorInsurance.com to find an agent near you.
Hi, this is Steve Schmidt, owner of the Shoebox in downtown Black Earth. We have thousands of pairs of shoes in stock, no waiting. So stop in anytime, specializing in size, selection, and fit. We will save you money. P.S. We measure both feet. Stop into the Shoebox, the largest shoe store at the north end of Black Earth.
Our Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school sports on Queen Bee Radio is presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental, and by Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. Check out our upcoming schedule at am1590wpbl.com.
Pre-game 1.
WPBL regional semifinal baseball a day late. Lancaster and Fennimore. We're joined by Lancaster coach Brian Knapp. Thanks for joining us. First question about that: do you think the delay is going to make any difference or not really?
It's a beautiful day for baseball, so we're ready to play, and I don't think it will matter.
It's a good. You're coming in on a good stretch because you had a nice win over Riverdale, obviously the regional quarterfinal. But backing up, in a general sense, how do you feel like you're playing right now?
You know, we're led by our seniors and a freshman that kind of has been really good for us. So team-wise, we're playing really good right now. Hopefully, we can keep playing games, and we're going to take one at a time and ready for the competition today.
And obviously, among other things, you got good pitching and beating Riverdale. What else worked for you?
Timely hitting. You know, we had runners on base, and Shea Lucky came through and had scored the 2 winning RBIs for us against Riverdale. So timely hit, you know how it is. Timely hitting in playoffs and pitching is going to be the difference.
Okay. Pitching was not perhaps anybody's strong suit when he played them the first time, 14-12. Either based on that or based on what you see from Fennimore and given how you're playing at this point, what do you feel like you have to do today?
Well, today's score won't be 14-12. I'm thinking more like 4-2, somewhere in that range. But the night we played, it was windy, and if I remember right, and I'm looking at stats, I believe we had 9 errors, they had 8, and that doesn't constitute for good baseball. And this time of year, if you have 9 or 8 errors, it's not going to be a fun game. So we're going to be cleaned it up by now, and we're ready for play a clean game and take care of business.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Brian App, the Lancaster coach, back with more after this at AM 1590 WPVL.
Pregame 2.
Hi, this is Christine Rowley of Rowley Cheese, wishing all area athletes successful seasons. Cheese is a great source of
Okay,
protein
Brent
for local
Scheckler,
lunches.
pretending it's Wednesday in 3,
Stop in and try
2,
some of our
1.
award-winning artisan cheeses like Dunbarton Blue, Red Rock, and Little Mountain. We have fresh cheese curds weekly and a wide variety of snacks and beverages, plus made-to-order cheese trays. Shop locally and taste the difference of handmade Wisconsin cheese at Rowley Cheese House on the corner of Highways 11 and 23, Shellsburg.
Trade out and trade up with the Gia Milking Performance promotion at Fuller's Milker Center. For a limited time, trade out your old milking units and liners and immediately benefit by trading up to a better milking performance at substantial savings. Choose from the Gia IQ milking unit or the classic 300E milking unit, both available with a GQ liner package. Plus, save if you need to swap cheddar cups too. Contact Fuller's Milker Center, LLC, your Gia dealer in Lancaster and Richland Center to find out how you can save big trading out and trading up on new Gia milking equipment technology. Pregame 2.
Rowley Cheese pregame show continues on ESPN Radio and 1590 WPVL. Regional semifinal, Lancaster and Fennimore. We're joined by Fennimore coach Brent Scheckler. Thanks for joining us. First thing, this has to have been a really fun year for you. 21 wins, blew through the SWA. How do you feel like your team is playing right now?
We're playing fantastic. As of recently, the last couple games were good. We had some really nail biters this year. I mean, as you know in baseball, it's not like we've been blowing everybody out by any means, but starts with pitching. Our pitching has been great all year. Hitting's been up and down a little bit, compared to last year, though. It's been fantastic. We couldn't score runs all last year. For us, it definitely starts with pitching. Defense has been much better in the last couple weeks. We were kind of rough there in the middle, too. Overall, I mean, with our record, we're playing really well.
One thing that stands out about your stats is that you don't have a lot of power. Of course, a lot of schools don't down here, but you sure run teams out of the ballparks, don't you?
Yeah, first day of practice, I told our guys that I thought our biggest strength this year would be our speed. And we worked days and days and days of base running stuff and leads and jumps and delayed steals and everything. And I also told our guys that we would be the most aggressive team that you'll ever see. And I have, at a couple times, buried myself a little bit doing it. But as the game has continued and we've prevailed, and we are aggressive, we run a lot, and we've got 2 guys, I think, that are over 20 bags apiece this year that we've taken. And, power-wise, it's been a little disappointing. I thought we'd have a little bit better power numbers this year. But, overall, I've heard a lot of people tell me we're a fun team to watch this year because we just play so aggressive. With Pat Murphy in us.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. And then the other obvious thing is the quality of your pitching, which, used to be you could go to state with 2 pitchers. You can't do that anymore with pitch count, but you have 3 quality pitchers, so that has to be a huge advantage also.
Yep, that was the other strength I knew that we had going into this year was going to be our pitching. We returned our 3 guys from last year, and all 3 guys had good seasons last year, but they were, 2 juniors and a sophomore. All 3 of those guys pitched last summer, pitched great in Legion, and we have been just sharp as nails this year. We have pitched so well, and we've had, a couple tough situations where we've battled, but for the most part, if it's a couple times their defense, if they had some unearned runs, but if you look at the ERAs of the guys, they're all low ones, and everybody's had one little mishap at some point this year that kind of cost them a couple. Otherwise, they've been dang near flawless almost all season.
Okay, so you have Lancaster, and the first time you played, you could call that the opposite of pitching, I suppose. Either based on that or based on, they got to win, obviously, a pretty well pitched game against Riverdale. What do you feel like you have to do today?
So I've been just stressing to our guys, don't do anything extra. We just play our game. We'll be aggressive, get that leadoff guy on. If we can get our leadoff guy on, we're always in good shape because we're going to do something. We'll bunt, we'll hit and run, we'll steal, we'll hit whatever. The first time we played him was in that really, really windy, cold day. It was probably the worst conditions I've ever been a part of, at least that I can remember. And, I mean, it was just your pitchers were sacrificial lambs out there. I felt bad for them throwing straight into a head/side wind. It was terrible. And I felt bad for both teams that had to pitch because it was so hard. Balls got hit up and they went anywhere. So, yeah, that game didn't really show. But Lancaster's got a good ball team. They've got solid pitching. They've got a few guys up at the top that really hit well. You know, we saw them play a couple times early in the season. I haven't seen them as of recently. But they beat a good Riverdale team, and Riverdale have been playing really well, and they handled them. So we're not overlooking them by any means whatsoever. You know, we got Casey on the hill. I still feel that when Casey's pitching, it's our best team defensively. So we're going all in on this game to win this, and it's just one at a time for us.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck.
You bet. Thanks, Steve.
Brent Sheckler, the Fennimore coach, and we will be back with Lancaster and Fennimore after these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
Pre-game 3.
Are high bank fees draining your wallet? It's time for a change.
At People's State Bank, they believe in low fees that put you first.
Tired of being charged for using your debit card, sneaky paper statement fees, or monthly maintenance fees?
With People's State Bank's People's Checking Account, those fees are a thing of the past.
Worried about ATM fees?
At People's State Bank, they reimburse you for up to 3 ATM fees per month. They work hard to keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket.
Make the switch to People's State Bank today. Visit a branch near you or peoplesfinancial.com. Member FDIC.
Test.
Test.
Okay. Again, on the Shoebox Scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Belmont leading Barneveld 7-4 in the 6th inning, and that is on 97.7 Country WGLR. The winner heads to the sectional final tomorrow. And then meanwhile, Prairie du Chien and Cuba City still scoreless in the 5th inning. That is on Super Hits 106. That winner goes to Dodgeville tomorrow. Our injury report brought to you by Russell Law Offices. If you've been injured, contact Russell Law Offices. Their experienced team of personal injury lawyers will fight for your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. Visit RussellLawWI.com. Only player who cannot play today is Vinny Ubersox for Lancaster. He is out due to injury, and everybody else is ready to go. Colors of the game presented by Cuba City Family Dental, Kieler Family Dental, and Darlington Family Dental. 3 convenient locations to serve your dental needs. Lancaster is in the white jerseys and pants with red. I'm looking over there. That's the problem. Blue pinstripes and blue numbers and names on the back, trimmed in gold. And Fennimore in the maroon jerseys, white pants, white numbers trimmed in gold. Have you heard my treatise about red yet?
You have told me that one. The very first time I tried to call the Hillman red, and you were not happy with that.
That's right. Well, it's imprecise. You know, you got to get those things correct. Our game today brought to you by Mountain City Bank. Their total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Step into Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Learn more at MountainCityBank.com. Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore, specializing in commercial and light industrial construction, building lasting relationships in the tri-state area since 1992. Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore. We're also brought to you by Ritchie Implement in Barneveld, Darlington, and Lancaster. See your inventory and employment opportunities at ritchiesinc.com. And once again, there goes our crowd mic, which really doesn't want to be here. Maybe we can't put that through the netting, I guess. Our game also brought to you by Southwest Health. They have over 24 specialty services and more than 50 specialists, so you can have excellent care without traveling far from home. Learn more about their specialty services at southwesthealth.org. Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Experience love at 425 degrees I guess this was more applicable yesterday, but it will be applicable next Tuesday, too. $12 Tuesdays. Buy a large pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $12 every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Order online at papamurphys.com. Our game brought to you by Bailey Excavating, excellently executing your excavation projects, including fence line and site prep, waterways, dams, and demolition. Bailey Excavating in Potosi. Doolittle's in Lancaster. Like Doolittle's at Pub and Eatery and Facebook for multiple daily lunch specials. Friends meet and eat at Doolittle's on the Square in Lancaster. Rural Mutual Agents John Ragetz and Deneen Dow with Ragetz and Dow Insurance Group, tackling all your farm, personal, business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank. CFBank.com, member FDIC. Our game also brought to you by Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. Call Mike or Lane to discuss the possibilities of your next project. Proud to be the wide selection of products from a locally owned company. Visit their Fennimore to be the pork and chicken to fill your freezer for great. Also brought to you by Schneidl's Heating and Cooling. Call your dealer, Bradley Schneider, for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service from Steele's Heating and Cooling. Again, it's Ragetz at third, Brewer at second, Lenz at first. With 2 away, 2-2, Chopper to third, and the throw a little high to first, but able to grab it is Corey Dreesen from Yankee Fiedler. But 2 runs score on 3 hits and 2 walks, and the bases loaded are left after 8 batters. 2-0 Fennimore heading to the bottom of the first. 2-0 Lancaster heading to Fennimore's first inning on AM 1590 WPVL.
Problem? You just said that the Wi-Fi or the video was spotty, so I switched to Wi-Fi.
All right. Saturday Loves presented by Fuller's Milker Center. See Fuller's complete hygiene line and options for your brand new dairy setup or existing parlor remodel. Fuller's in Lancaster and Richland Center, and at Fuller'sMilkerCenter.com. For Fennimore, 21-3, and they were perfect, or at least undefeated, in the Swall this year. Tyson Starkey, the shortstop, will lead off. Sean Yankee Fiedler, the third baseman, will bat second. Ethan Scheckler, the catcher, bats third. McCoy Miles, the left fielder, bats cleanup. Corey Dreesen at first base, bats fifth. Casey Dreesen, the pitcher, will bat sixth. Brock Henkel, the DH, will bat second. He will bat for Peyton Chappell, the right fielder. Johnny Filardo at second base will bat eighth. And Jude Kenny, the center fielder, will bat ninth. On the mound, Shea Lucky for Lancaster. And the first pitch popped up foul, heading this way. Catcher's looking at us. That concerns me immediately, but it was out of play. Shea Lucky this season, 2-0, 2-2 in save opportunities, 368 earned run average, 179 whip. He's pitched in 11 games, 32 in the third innings, given up 36 hits, 26 runs, 17 of them earned, walked 22, struck out 27. The next pitch is low for ball one ball, one strike. Lucky the pitcher. Nolan Wolf is the catcher. Tory Ragetz at third, Tyler Timmerman at short. Lane Hendricks at second. And Connor Brewer is at first, and it's 2 balls and a strike. In the outfield, John Clements in left, Max Bodwin in center, and Brady McCartney is in right field. 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. I suppose I should update everybody. And that pitch is a called strike, and it's 2-2 on the Shoebox scoreboard. Presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Again, Cuba City beat Prairie du Chien 1-0. That was on Super Hits 106, and that pitch is low, and it's ball 4. So Tyson Starkey walks. Starkey batting .423, 586 OPS, 6 RBIs, and on the mound, or on the bases, 22 for 22 in stolen bases. Sean Yankee Fiedler, 333 batting average, 614 OPS, 6 RBIs. Runner first, 2-0 Lancaster to throw back to first high. And back to first in time is Starkey. That was one interesting thing that Fennimore did not, Drayson did not throw over to first base once in that top of the inning.
He did stay locked onto that batter.
There was a hit down the right field line, and it's a fair ball dropping inside the line. It'll be runners at second and third, and coming home to now going back to third as the throw comes into the plate. So that is a double for Yankee Fiedler, and Starkey gets all the way over to third. The right fielder, McCartney, had to come a long way, obviously, and ended up with it dropping just before the line.
And a little bit of bobble in right field. Looked like he thought he had the ball, had to go back and get it. I will say both of these teams have been a little hesitant over at third base. They don't really want to send guys home early in the game.
Ethan Scheckler flies to left center field. That'll be deep enough to score a run as the throw goes to shortstop, but it's 2-1 as Starkey scores.
Up to bat for Fennimore.
And like Coach Scheckler said, when they get Starkey on first base early, good things usually happen. Great know to do your job there by Ethan Scheckler. Didn't kill a ball, but he put a ball deep enough to score a run.
McCoy Miles batting .293, 507 OPS with 12 RBIs, 2-1 Lancaster. And this is hit to center field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Coming around to score, sliding in, is Yankee Fiedler, and going to second is Miles, and we're tied at 2.
Miles does a great job playing connected to that guy going home. As soon as he sees the ball goes home, he gets over to second. Those extra bags, those really matter in the long run.
So an RBI single, Miles takes second on the throw. Yankee Fiedler in, and we're tied at 2 in the bottom of the first. Here's Corey Dreesen, batting .353, 866 OPS with 4 RBIs. Miles at second base, 2 for 3 in stolen bases this year. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. I have to say, I'm becoming quite distracted because of those cupcakes to our left. Just saying.
Maybe they'll share.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hey, guess what the batter found?
That ball came right at us. And I forgot there was a fence there, but thank you, fence.
That's why it's there. 1 ball, 1 strike. First Supply at Platteville, your total commercial plumbing and heating wholesale outlet when quality parts are needed. The experts rely on First Supply in Platteville. 2 balls and a strike. Nice scoreboard in right field. It's a little hard to see, at least for me it is, in part perhaps because of the haze from the Canadian wildfire smoke. There's an air quality alert for Grant, Lafayette, and Iowa counties until tomorrow at noon. That pitch is low. That's 2 balls and a strike. So it's very, very filtered sunshine. I'm not sure that those are clouds up there, but I think that's just the smoke. And the temperature is terrific as that is hit the left field, and that will be a base hit. And Fennimore will take the lead. Coming in to score is Miles. It's an RBI single for Corey Dreesen. And it is 3-2 Fennimore.
Now batting for Fennimore, the starting pitcher.
One out offense early.
Casey.
Well, this is starting to look like, Brian Knapp said the score would be closer to 4-2, but it's already 3-2 in the first. These two teams played back on April 14th with Fennimore winning 16-12. That's crazy. Here's Casey Dreesen batting .425, 670 OPS with 22 RBIs this season. Corey Dreesen at first after the RBI single. 2 in the top of the first. There's a throwback to first. 2 in the top of the first for Lancaster. 3 in the bottom of the first.
And that game would be the highest scoring outing for Lancaster with 12 total runs.
The ball bounces in there for ball 1. We're brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch, Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. Give Jim Drury and the gang a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland or TriStar Mulch, Cobb and Platteville. That pitch misses upstairs, and it is 2 balls and no strikes.
And it was also the highest scoring game for Fennimore with 16 runs. So both of these teams had their highest scoring outings against one another earlier this year.
There's a called strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Bytech Resource Management. A greener way, Bytech Resource Management of Monroe. Also brought to you by Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. Belmont Prairie Sheen at Carey'sGuttersandDoors.com. 2-1, and that is a called strike at the knees. I think at the bottom of the knees, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
2 excellent pulls by Nolan Wolf to hold that right in the zone. Framing is one of the more underrated pieces of work in baseball.
You sound like you're a catcher.
Maybe.
2-2 with 1 out and a runner at first. And there's 3-2, excuse me. That is now ball 4. So Dreesen at second, Dreesen at first. 3 runs in for Fennimore.
The designated hitter.
And the DH, Brock Hinkle, batting .266, 646 OPS, 1 home run, 16 RBI, 3-2 Fennimore with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning.
Lancaster really needs an out here. As the great coach Todd Carr always says, you're always just 1 pitch away if you got guys on with 1 out. Let's see if they can craft up a good ground ball here.
That pitch is inside to the left-handed hitting Henkel for ball 1. Krantz Auto Parts, your local hardware at Hank and Napa dealer. See Rob Krantz and the crew at Krantz Auto Parts for full-service repairs on cars and light trucks too. Krantz Auto Parts in Fennimore. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that is a check swing, 2 balls and no strikes. Guys Truck and Tractor for heavy-duty towing and recovery. Reliable 24-hour roadside service and long-distance transports. Call on Guys Truck and Tractor in Kieler and at guystruck.com. Swing and a miss at an inside pitch, and it's 2-1. Carver's Hardwood Flooring for hardwood flooring, stair installation, or refinishing needs. Call Ryan Carver, the only National Wood Flooring Association certified installer, sander, and finisher of the tri-state area. Carver's Hardwood Flooring in Benton. That pitch fouled off to the left side. And out of play, it's 2-1. 2-2, excuse me.
And Henkel has slightly unorthodox stance. He's kind of twisted in, and I think Lucky is trying to attack that inside. It's a little bit tougher angle to hit from that batting stance.
2-2 with 2 aboard and 1 out. And the pitch low, and it's 3-2. And 1 out. I don't suppose the runners will be going here. Sloan Implement, your official John Deere dealer at Bloomington, Cuba City, Montford, and at sloans.com. 3-2 with 1 out. Pop foul out of play left side. Bouse Electric, call Brad Adrian and Josh Busher at Bouse Electric, Lancaster and Fennimore. WCC Brands Custom Apparel at Kieler and at WCC-Brands.com. Another 3-2 pitch from Lucky. And that is fouled off down the right field line. People's State Bank For personal home business and egg loans, visit one of their convenient area locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com, member FDIC. Gary's Pest Control in Dickeyville. Gary's Pest Control, over 40 years of friendly professional service. They salute our local athletes.
That first 3-2 a fastball, that last 3-2 a curve. We'll see what Lucky goes to on the third try with a full count.
And instead, a feint to second. But getting back was Corey Dreesen. 3-2. Down the left field line, and that is foul. And we'll have another 3-2 pitch. Donnie's Tire Auto, call the only hooker in town for 24-hour towing service at 568-3014. 568-3014, your home for excellent car care. Donnie's Tire Auto in Dickeyville. 3-2, 1 out, 2 runners aboard, 3 runners already in. It's 3-2 Fennimore in the bottom of the first.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was another curve, so Henkel's been ready for everything here.
The pitch. Foul off again.
Another inside pitch. This is quite the battle.
Breckler Insurance for auto, business, farm, home, health, and life insurance. See Steve Landusky at Breckler Insurance in Fennimore. Breckler Landusky serving Breckler Insurance, serving Southwest Wisconsin for over 95 years. What is this? Pitch number 5 at 3-2.
10th pitch of the at bat, or 11th.
Here it is. Ball 4. And a run scored. The correction. The bases are loaded. It is the third walk of the inning.
The starting second baseman, number 3.
And here's the 8th batter, Filardo, Johnny Filardo, 244 batting average, 411 OPS, 7 RBIs. And out comes Brian Knapp. I doubt he'll have the hook with him, but on the other hand, this game, after a great start for Lancaster, all of a sudden the switch has really been flipped in this bottom of the first inning. With 3 hits and 3 walks, and therefore 3 runs, and the bases are loaded. Also in the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Brewers won today, 9-1 over Cincinnati. That was earlier today here on AM 1590 WPVL.
Is that 10 straight for the Brewers?
9 of 10. They lost last night.
Oh.
So no George Webb hamburgers. They'll have to start another winning streak. Here's Filardo. And the pitch from Lucky is outside ball 1. What is Shea Lucky not doing here?
He's just a little hesitant, and batters are able to jump on one they like. Just like that.
It's hit to right center field, and that ball is going to go all the way to the wall and will clear the bases. 1 run's in, 2 runners in. The 3rd runner scores. It's an RBI, a 3-run triple for Filardo. Both Dreesen's score, and Henkel scores.
Now batting for the
And it is 6-2 Fennimore.
Incomplete honesty. If he doesn't dive into third base there, that could have been an inside the park. There was a little bit of a fumble on the relay into second base, but a great hit nevertheless.
Jude Kenny, and a bunt, and that'll score a run as Kenny is retired on a sacrifice, but a run scores. Filardo comes in. It's 7-2.
Up to the plate for Fennimore, Tyson.
And back to the top of the order.
And like Coach Scheckler told us, they're aggressive. A suicide squeeze in the first inning and executed to perfection. A little bit of conflict on that tag between Brewer and the runner, and the coach has something to say about it, but we'll continue play.
Starkey started all of this by walking at the top of this inning. So Fennimore, obviously, with the right response after Lancaster's 2 at the top of the first. Next pitch is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. (2-0 pitch. There's a called strike, 2-1.
Starkey has been everything the Golden Eagles have wanted this season. If you take away the last playoff game, Starkey was on a 17-game hitting streak.
That pitch is outside, 3 balls and a strike.
That was actually snapped last game, surprisingly, but they've obviously continued on, and they're good here.
Here's a 3-1. Down to third baseline, and it hits the third baseman, and Starkey will get aboard for the second time. Hit or error?
It's a hot corner for a reason. Off the glove on I think that's got to be a play that's made.
So an error?
No official ruling, but it looks like an error.
Yankee Fiedler singled and scored in that 7-run, well, in this 7-run inning. The throw to second, meanwhile, is not in time, and Starkey with a stolen base. Our game brought to you by Mound City Bank. Their total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop into Mound City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Learn more at moundcitybank.com. 7-2 Fennimore in the first inning with 2 out. That pitch is upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Fennimore, a team that, we mentioned they don't have a lot of power. I think they only had 3 home runs this year, but they run the bases with wild abandon and now a fake throw to second. And back in time was Starkey. Ritchie Implement in Cop, Barterville, Darlington, and Lancaster. See your inventory and employment opportunities at ritchiesinc.com. Next pitch, a called strike.
Ethan Scheckler, one of the best power bats in the SWAL conference. He's actually down compared to last year in total number of home runs, but his average is almost doubled. He went from 260 to 414, so.
That pitch is outside and stealing third, and the ball almost got away there. But Starkey gets to third, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's outside, 3-2.
Wolf has a very quick sidearm delivery from the catcher. It looks a lot like how he throws the football. And quarterback catcher, it's a pretty good connection duo, I would say.
3-2 with 2 out. And the pitch is upstairs, ball 4.
Fennimore's been picky, and that's played to their strengths. They haven't swung at many pitches that haven't been inside the zone, but when they see them, they've crushed them well.
Now batting, number
Scheckler
25.
comes into the game, by the way, we didn't get a chance to mention. 388 batting average, 923 OPS, 2 home runs, and 20 RBIs. And he's got first and third with 2 outs, 7-2 Fennimore in the bottom of the first. And the first pitch way upstairs, ball 1. The throw to first, and back in time is Yankee Fiedler.
That ball was there. Wolf just a little hesitant to throw it. Understandable with a guy on third, but that could have been the third out of the inning.
Yankee Fiedler, 17 stolen bases. That pitch is upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Southwest Health has over 24 specialty services and more than 50 specialists, so you can have excellent care without traveling far from home. Learn more about their specialty services at southwesthealth.org. That's a called strike, and it's 2-1. I don't think Fennimore fans are so concerned now after their response after giving up 2 in the top of the first with 7 so far. There goes the runner, and that pitch is popped up behind third and caught by the left fielder, Clements, and that finally ends the inning. However, 10 bat, 7 score, and our score after 1, 7-2 Fennimore over Lancaster on AM 1590 WPVL. Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel powered by Tim Slack Auction Realty and H&M Plumbing, Heating, Electrical. 7-2 after one inning here at Kendall Murray Field at UW-Platteville. Max Bodwin will lead off for Lancaster, the 9th batter. Bodwin this season, 182 batting average, 505 OPS with 5 RBIs. And I'm looking. Nope. All right. In case Dreesen just taking a little bit more time with his warm-up pitches. We're brought to you by Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Experience love at 425 degrees. $12 Tuesdays. Next week, buy a large pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $12. Every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Order online at papamurphys.com. First pitch is low for ball 1. So the challenge now for Dreesen, who had some trouble in the first, but now is staked to a 5-run lead, is basically just throw strikes. It's 1-1 now.
Another big thing he's got to keep an eye on is keeping that pitch count down. Like we've mentioned earlier, you want to maximize your amount of times you can see the field as a pitcher in the postseason.
2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch was outside. And the pitch down the right field line, foul and out of play. And it's 2-2. Bailey Excavating, excellently executing your excavation projects, including fence line and site prep, waterways, dams, and demolition. Bailey Excavating in Potosi. 2-2 pitch. And hit the right field, and that'll drop for a base hit. So Lancaster picks up where they left off in the first.
Now batting number 3.
Drenson, 38 total pitches in that first inning, and that is not where you want to be after 1. Luckily, Shea Lucky, had 48 in the first for Lancaster. So both of these pitchers are going to want to keep it efficient in the upcoming innings.
Swinging at this for Timmerman, who reached on an infield single, stole 2 bases and scored in the first inning.
Yes, he opened up with a bunt on a 1-1 count.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Won't be able to go to that now with a 0-2 count.
Bodwin at first, meanwhile, 6 for 8 in stolen bases this year.
0-2, as Coach Carl would say, be smart here. You don't got to throw him anything over the plate.
Called strike 3.
Don't listen to Coach Carl.
On the outside corner. 1 away. Lucky struck out back in the first inning. Doolittle in Lancaster. Like Doolittle's Pub and Eatery on Facebook for multiple daily lunch specials. Friends meet and eat at Doolittle's on the Square in Lancaster. Swing it to this. Strike 1. Well, the thing, of course, is that with pitch count, the pitch count rules being what they are, it is difficult, though not impossible, to throw a complete game. There's a ball, and it's 1-1. All you have to do is do the math. You get 100 pitches over, however many innings. If you pitch 7 innings, you could go 2-2 on every batter and run out of pitches. That pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike. On the other hand, it's not like it's impossible. The Boscobel pitcher, I should have gotten his name, in the upset of the state postseason so far, 2 unpitched. That's inside. And the ball was dropped by Scheckler, but Bodwin not going from first. He threw 71 pitches and knocked off number 1 seed and number 1 ranked Seneca yesterday, 1-0.
Baseball really has the most upsets.
There's a called strike, and it's 2-2.
Of all the sports, because you never know what's going to happen. There's not really, the best team can't really always outmuscle the other team. You get all these weird 1-0 ball games.
3-2 pitch, and that's ball 4. Oh, called strike 3. Delayed call by the home run by the home plate umpire. 2 out. And here is Wolf, who walked, stole second, went to third on an error, and scored on a passed ball. Run number 2 of the game. 7-2, Fennimore with 2 outs. Bodwin at first in the top of the 2nd inning. That's fouled off the backstop that protects us from baseballs. Strike 1. So the number 1 seed and number 1 ranked Seneca didn't even get to the regional final in basketball, playing DeSoto today for a trip to state. And of course, Highland, the number 6 seed, knocked off Ithaca, which was the 3rd seed, and the number 7 ranked team in Division 4.
Former state, or did they win state 2 years ago? Ithaca being a state champion.
That pitch, yeah, I believe you were correct. That pitch, 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 out and a runner at first. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And a throw to first, and diving back in is Bodwin. So it's 2-2 with 2 out. Rural Mutual agents John Ragetz and Deneen Dow with Ragetz & Dow Insurance Group tackle all of your farm, personal, business, and life insurance need. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. 2-2 with 2 out. The pitch outside, and it's 3-2, and that will give Bodwin a head start from first base. Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank, cfbank.com, member FDIC. 3-2, ball 4. 2 aboard as Bodwin moves to second. 2 away. That is already the 3rd walk of the game, given up by Dreesen. Here's Ragetz, who had a single back in the 1st inning. One of the 3 guys left on the bases after Lancaster's 2-run first. That first pitch outside for ball 1. Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. That's fouled off. It nearly hit a young Fennimore fan and or our camera. You might want to check to make sure that's all right. 1-1 with 2 out. And 2 aboard. That's high, 2-2. The throw back to second from Scheckler, and back to second goes Bodwin. Hendricks Construction in Lancaster, call Mike or Lane to discuss the possibilities of your next project. Proud to back the arrows. Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. There's a called strike, and it's 2-2.
And that bottom right corner has been active. The outside bottom corner has been active all game for catchers to pull it back into the zone.
2-2 with 2 out and 2 aboard. 3-2. And now the runners will certainly be going here. 3-2 with 2 out. Anyway, on the Shoebox scoreboard, bottom of the 3rd inning, North Crawford leading River Ridge 2-0. That's on X1071. That's it. Past first and into short right field and caught by the right fielder Chappell, and that retires the side. 1 hit, 1 walk. 2 left. Lancaster's left 5 through 2. 7-2 Fennimore after an inning and a half on AM 1590 WPVL.
Dinner in the cab. An early morning becomes a late night. Unnecessary restrictions turn into headaches. But when you make Enlist herbicides the foundation of your herbicide program, the trade-offs will be in your favor. Effective weed control that's ready to work when you are. Flexible tank makes options and neighbor-friendly applications, all without the need to jump through hoops. See what you'll gain with America's most trusted herbicide system protecting your Enlist E3 soybean fields at Enlist.com. The old way of doing things makes sense for some things, like popcorn at the movies. The old ways don't make sense if you expect more yield out of your acres, because there's a new way to unlock the full potential of your fields, and it starts when you plant Enlist corn. With 4 robust trait tolerances, glyphosate and glufosinate, plus 2,4-D choline and FOP, it unleashes ultimate weed control flexibility with multiple modes of action to fight weeds. See what's possible for your fields at enlist.com/corn. In Game 3.
Bottom of the second inning, 7-2 Fennimore, and Lancaster is going to go to a new pitcher as Nolan Wolf goes from catcher to pitcher. Wolf this season 3-3 with a 375 earned run average, 175 whip, pitched in 13 games, 56 innings. He's given up 68 hits, 36 runs, 30 of them earned, walked 30, and struck out 61. The new catcher is Toy Raggets,
which will send Shea Lucky over to third base.
I was just about to ask that question. So Lucky is over at third. Raggets is behind the plate. I'm trying to think of any catcher who has ever worn number 44, and no one comes immediately to mind. So, subs.com, fill your fitness journey with a wide selection of products from a locally owned company. Visit their Fennimore, Dubuque, and Platteville locations or subs.com. Midwest Builders Incorporated Fennimore, specializing in commercial and light industrial construction, building lasting relationships in the tri-state area since 1992. Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore.
Up the bat for Fennimore, number 2, McCoy Miles.
McCoy Miles singled with an RBI and then scored in that 7-run first inning for Fennimore. And the first pitch is a called strike. And again, on the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. In this half of the sectional, Cuba City over Prairie du Chien 1-0. That was on Super It's 106. Cuba City goes to Dodgeville tomorrow. And meanwhile, the pitch, and that's a called strike. That's quickly 0-2. Belmont has beaten Barneveld 7-4. That was on 97.7 Country WGLR. So Belmont plays for a state trip tomorrow. 0-2 pitch up the middle, base hit.
And that's an example of the downside of throwing an 0-2 strike. 0-2, you don't have to throw anything in the zone. You can throw that dirt curve, the outside pitch. 0-2 should be a good setup for your 1-2 or 2-2 punch out. And doesn't take advantage of that there, single up the middle.
Corey Dreesen singled and scored in the 7-run first inning with an RBI. So Belmont, back to them. They will play either, where is it here? Cambria, Friesland, or Johnson Creek tomorrow for a trip to state. We'll have that for you. Station to be determined on the Queen Bee family of radio stations. First pitch is ball 1. Also in Division 4, the Mineral Point sectional, Waterloo is at Random Lake. That's a 5 versus 3 matchup with the winner going to number 2 seed Mineral Point, which knocked off number 1 seed Cuba City yesterday. So that's 2 possibilities for state softball right there. And that pitch is downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
As I said earlier, Baseball, softball, you get a lot of upsets. You get a guy or girl on to score on a run, you can win a 1-0 ball game without getting a hit, and on an error, excuse me. And, you see that a lot in the baseball playoffs. Teams that you don't expect to win can pull out some weird games with some weird defense or some weird runs.
Throwback to first. Squared a bunt. Another throwback to first, but getting back in time is Miles.
And that's his third throw over, so I'm pretty sure the MLB rule, maybe he went over by 1. I don't get he gets to throw again.
No, this isn't the majors.
Is that the pitch count up there?
No. 2-0 pitch is a ball. Throw to first, not in time.
And they're really worried about that pitcher over, or that runner over at first base. Catcher goes down to 1.
Meanwhile, River Ridge, after giving up 2 runs, has scored 5 and leads North Crawford 5-2, top of the 4th. That's on X1071. That winner gets Highland tomorrow. And there's a called strike.
And another time a batter's tried to kind of take off early. My personal approach always was just wait for the umpire to make the call, because you never want to show up an umpire and make the call for them, because they're likely to go the other way.
3-1, and that just misses, and it's ball 4. So Dreesen walks. First and second, nobody out in the second inning.
First batter of the inning, Nolan, he throws some 3 straight strikes. Next batter, he throws them 3 straight balls. So a little bit of inconsistency early. Shea Lucky in his first inning threw 48 total pitches, but he only could get 23 for strikes. So Wolf is definitely going to try to attack the zone, make the defense work.
Casey Dreesen walked and scored in the first inning. And that pitch just misses inside for ball 1. We're brought to you by the Butcher Shop in Fennimore, offering top quality beef, pork, and chicken to fill your freezers. Short on time? Don't forget the heat and serve barbecue beef and pork for great tasting meals. The Butcher Shop in Fennimore. Called strike 1-1. Anderson Weber turn and Beak, part of our audio stream. Anderson Weber turn and Beak when you are ready. Well, the sun was out, but it has disappeared behind the haze again. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls at a strike.
Hayes hasn't made any immediate impacts, but there has been 2 balls to the outfield that the outfielders kind of took an unorthodox route to. You might wonder if the ball is getting lost in the kind of ball-colored white sky.
2-1. That bounces up there for ball 3 and a double steal. So Miles to third. And Corey Dreesen to second. And still nobody out. Three balls and a strike. Meanwhile, to Casey Dreesen.
Lancaster defense playing in.
And that's ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Now they will all come in, and with 1 out, or no outs, they will likely fire home on a ground ball.
Henkel walked and scored in the first inning. Tim Sack Auction Realty has buyers looking for agricultural, commercial, and residential properties. If you've been considering selling, call Tim, Kathy, Chase, and their staff today. Tim Sack Auction Realty, Fennimore, and Lancaster. Henkel, the left-hander, at the plate. Swings and misses for strike 1. Schneidl's Heating and Cooling is your local Daikin dealer. Call Bradley Schneider for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service from Schneidl's Heating and Cooling in Bloomington. 7-2, and bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss. And quickly 2 strikes.
Got to be careful with a low ball here. You don't want anything rolling past, letting a run come from third. An outside or high fastball could set up a good 1-2 pitch. See if they go there.
The 0-2. Low, and he went around, and that's strike 3.
Good pitch there by Wolf. Good block. Keeps it in front, and runners can't advance.
1 away. Falardo had the 3-run triple in the first inning. Grant Regional Health Center's ortho team, Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, better health starts here. 7-2 Fennimore. Now 1 out, bases loaded in the bottom of the second inning. And that's fouled off to the right side and out of play.
I'm surprised Lancaster is still keeping their infield completely in. With 1 out, sometimes they like to keep the corners in but put the middle at double play depth. But it looks like they're still going to try to get everybody going home.
Apparently their focus must be to not give up any more runs, which if you beat out a double play grounder, you give up one. Here's a chopper to third and no play. It was slowly hit. A run scores to make it 8-2 on the infield single for Falardo, his second hit and his 4th RBI, and everybody moves up the base.
And with no one on, that hit is likely an out at first base because the third baseman knows exactly where he's going. With both bases loaded, that third baseman, a little bit of hesitation allows everybody to get home. Or be safe.
Popped up, and the shortstop backs up, and Timmerman makes the catch 2 away, just outside the outfield, or just on the infield grass. Kenny had the suicide squeeze in the first. Back to the top of the order, and Starkey, who batted twice, walked and scored first, and then reached on an error later in the first. And now throw back to third. No play there. Clear Bank, with array convenient locations in Southwest Wisconsin, proud to support our community events. Clear Bank, where they say we can do that, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. And that is hit to right field, and coming over and making the catch, the right fielder McCartney, to end the inning. But another run scores on 1 hit. But more importantly, a couple of walks, actually 2 hits and 2 walks. Bases loaded left after 2 innings, 8-2 Fennimore over Lancaster on AM 1590 WPVL.
This is Chris Nasher from Anderson Weber in Dubuque. If you're looking for a dependable new or used vehicle, Toyota has 7 out of the top 12 vehicles that last over 200,000 miles. Ranking number 2 in the J.D. Power Dependability Study, Toyota also has 5 of the top 10 vehicles with the best resale value, according to Kelley Blue. Come see me to find your Toyota at Anderson Weber Toyota when you're ready.
Anderson Weber Toyota, next to Target in Dubuque.
What happened to customer service? You're expected to check yourself out at the store, you're expected to pay 3% extra to use credit cards, and you're expected to unbox your own mattress and set it up yourself. Well, not at Dubuque Mattress. Hi, this is Doug Bolton with Dubuque Mattress. At Dubuque Mattress, customer service is alive and well. When you buy a mattress from us, we take care of everything. We deliver, set up, and get rid of the old mattress for you. We don't charge for using credit cards, and we offer free financing. Dubuque Mattress for the rest of your life.
Dubuque Mattress Factory, you get a little snooze time.
In Game 4.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of WIA Playoff Baseball, presented by Cuba City, Kieler, Darlington, Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on AM 1590 WPVL, and on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Syke Auction Realty and H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. 7-2 Fennimore. As we go to the 8-2, excuse me, Fennimore. As we go to the third inning, Clemens popped to third in the first, and takes a called strike. And quickly the 1 strike. Hit down the first base line and out of play. And it's quickly 2 strikes. Our game brought to you by Herms's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington, and Herms's Ace Hardware at the bottom of Main and Platteville. See Herms's for the perfect paint for your next project. Herms's Ace Hardware, Bloomington and Platteville. Lancaster with 2 at the top of the first, but Fennimore with 7 in the bottom of the first. They added 1 in the 8th, and a swing and a miss, and strike 3 for Clements, 1 away. Connor Brewer reached on an infield single in the first inning.
Number 31, Connor Brewer.
Russell Law Offices here to assist as your local legal representation. Call for a consultation to discuss personal injury. That's ball one. Estate planning, family law, criminal defense, probate administration, and more. Proudly serving Southern Wisconsin, Russell Law Offices. 1-0 pitch fouled off down the right field line and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian's Auto Body and Paint Specialist. The pros at Brian's get the job done right. For unexpected things or major repair projects, head to Brian's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. 1-1. Or 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away. And here is Lenz, who walked back in the first inning. McNett Electric of Belmont can assist you with all your electrical needs. Chip and his crew at McNett Electric are on call ready to help you with your agricultural, business, and commercial needs. McNett Electric in Belmont. Swing and a miss. And all of a sudden, Casey Dreesen is finding the strike zone.
He continues to use that first pitch strike to his advantage, but since then he's also closed well since that first inning, and he's been really efficient later in these counts.
1 ball, 1 strike. Tim Slack Auction Realty, whether buying or selling, call Tim, Kathy, Chase, and their staff today. Tim Slack Auction Realty, Lancaster and Fennimore. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're also brought to you by Subway in Fennimore, offering delicious subs with fresh baked bread with tasty proteins, available in bowls and sub sandwiches. And a ground bird to second. Throw at first, and saving an error is Casey Dreesen at first. We'll get to Subway in a moment. 1, 2, 3 goes Lancaster in the third after 2.5. 8-2 Fennimore on AM 1590 WPVL.
Milk has been building champions for centuries. Research shows that real milk builds pregame muscle, and no-fat chocolate milk restores post-game muscle for athletes like few other beverages. That's why the pros know they're going to need milk to fuel their performance. Learn their inspiring stories at GonnaNeedMilk.com. GONNA needmilk.com. Brought to you by Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, and the Back Bar in Platteville offer a trio of options for your dining and drinking enjoyment. Come to Pizzeria Uno for Platteville's best deep dish pizza, their signature Long Island iced tea, and a variety of other menu and beverage options. Reserve Uno's loft for parties of up to 50 people. For 7 days a week carry-out options, visit PizzeriaUno.net. Uno's delivers Thursday, Friday, and Sunday from 4 to 8. Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, and the Back Bar in Platteville. In Game 5.
As I started to say before the end of the previous half inning, Subway in Fennimore offers delicious subs with fresh baked bread with tasty proteins, available both in bowls and sub sandwiches. Good luck to the Eagles from Subway in Fennimore. Justin Washburn and the H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical team continue to provide top quality plumbing, heating, and electrical service for your business, home, and farm. H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical serving you in Fennimore, Lancaster, and Boscobel. CJ ATM service, see Chuck Schneering for all your business and large-scale event ATM needs. Find CJ ATM service on Facebook. To learn more, CJ ATM service in Platteville. Sean Yankee Fiedler leads off in the bottom of the third inning. Fennimore with an 8-2 lead. And the first pitch from Wolf is almost Brent Scheckler. Did it hit him? Apparently he's all right if it did, but I think Brent just aged there and he's walking around.
And pants are a little brown. I don't know if it's falling on the dirt or just a little nervous.
That's not a nice thing to do, to try to decapitate your third base coach, as to say your head coach. The 0-1 pitch misses outside 1-1. We'll have to ask him about that if Fennimore ends up winning our game today. We're in the bottom of the third. Golden Eagles lead 8-2. And that just missed. And it is 2 balls and 1 strike. Kendall Murray, by the way, there's a couple of Kendall Murray fields. One's at Cuba City High School, which is where he went to high school. That's a hit to left field and drops for a base hit. And so Yankee Fiedler aboard for the 3rd time today. He had a single and a run scored in the 1st inning and then walked actually later in the 1st inning, and now he has his 2nd hit of the game. Ethan Scheckler flied to center in the 1st, flied to left in the 2nd. That was an RBI, that was a sacrifice fly, by the way, in the 1st inning. And actually that fly to left field ended the 1st inning. 12 batters actually in that inning for Fennimore in the first pitch outside for ball 1. So Kendall Murray pitched at Cuba City High School and then pitched at UW-Platteville before he died at a tragic accident in 1975. There's a stolen base as the throw to second not in time. So Yankee Fiedler aboard. Here's an interesting fact about Kendall Murray. Number 1, he is still, and he died in 1975, but he is still the career strikeout leader for UW-Platteville, and back in an era when they only played 19 games a year. And in addition to that, pause, the 1-0 pitch. That gets away and goes all the way to the backstop. And going to third is Yankee Fiedler. Is that a wild pitch?
Catcher didn't really try to make a play on it. It was in the left batter's box under Ethan Scheckler's feet, so I'd probably deem it so.
All right. So he's over at third with nobody out. And the 2-0 pitch. Hit to the, or popped up, first base side, and straddling the first baseline is Brewer to make the catch. 1 away, and Yankee Fiedler staying at third. So Kendall Murray, he pitched at Cuba City High School, pitched at UW-Platteville. He also played for the Dodgeville American Legion team and for the Dodgeville Home Talent League team. In his entire career from high school on, he averaged more than 1 strikeout an inning. First pitch is outside to Miles, who has 2 hits, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. And that was in the first 2 innings of this game. That's popped foul down the right field line, chasing, and nobody's going to get it. It's bounces foul on the warning track. The first Kendall Murray field was actually at the corner of, let's see, Greenwood Avenue and whatever that north-south street is. Hickory, perhaps? Or maybe a street to the west. That is now a turf field. This place opened up in 2007. Actually, the softball field behind us is also named Kendall Murray Field. That's fouled off the backstop. And it is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Lancaster defense playing at the edge of the grass. Again, trying to go home for anything.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Miles retired for the first time today. Here's Corey Dreesen. RBI single and scored in the first, and then walked for the stolen base in the second inning. Mound City Bank's total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in a Mound City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC to equal housing lender. Learn more at moundcitybank.com. First pitch popped up third, actually down to third baseline, but the catch is made, and that actually ends the inning as Wolf, the pitcher, makes the catch. 1 hit, 1 left. Put it in the wrong place on the score sheet, but that's okay. 1 hit, 1 left. After 3 in the regional semifinal, Fennimore 8, Lancaster 2 on AM 1590 WPVL.
Are high bank fees draining your wallet? It's time for a change.
At People's State Bank, they believe in low fees that put you first.
Tired of being charged for using your debit card, sneaky paper statement fees, or monthly maintenance fees?
With People's State Bank's People's Checking Account, those fees are a thing of the past.
Worried about ATM fees?
At People's State Bank, they reimburse you for up to 3 ATM fees per month. They work hard to keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket.
Make the switch to People's State Bank today. Visit a branch near you or peoplesfinancial.com. Member FDIC.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. In Game 6.
8. How about I get this thing to work here? 8 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Fennimore. And for Lancaster, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error as we go to the 4th inning. Lancaster's left 5 on base. Fennimore has left 2. 8-9-1 batters. First pitch is grounded to third, and Yaki Kieler with a high throw at first. So Hendricks reaches on an error. That is the 3rd error of the game that we have on Fennimore. And so Hendricks at second with nobody out. Previously, he grounded to third, which is where he hit it in the first inning.
Now batting number 13.
There really hasn't been a lot of plays on the dirt. I think only 3 or 4 ground balls total. A lot of pop-ups, fly balls, so a little rusty there throwing the run, just sails it a little.
Bodwin singled in the first and takes outside for ball 1. Winner of this game, again, plays either Mineral Point or New Glarus, and so far it's New Glarus leading in the 4th inning over Mineral Point 2-1. And it's called as the pitch went foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And that game will be tomorrow. And the Shoebox Scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. There's a bunt, and fielded by Dreesen barehanded. He throws to first in time. Now a throw to third, but that ball gets away. And coming in to score is Hendricks. Bodwin gets the sacrifice, and then Hendricks scores on the 4th error of the game, this time by Corey Dreesen, and it is 8-3.
Lancaster proved me wrong on that play. I was a little confused when he squared. The runner from second didn't appear to move at all to third. He didn't go until after the throw, and I thought it was a little late to start, as there's a high ball by the face. And the late jump let the first baseman believe he had an opportunity at third, and got past him and scored a run.
Timmerman takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Timmerman reached on an infield single, 2 stolen bases and a run scored in the first, and then struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Pitch bounced up there. It is 3 balls and no strikes. So suddenly the lead is back to 5. Ritchie Implement and Cobb, Barneveld, Darlington, and Lancaster. See your inventory and employment opportunities at ritchiesinc.com. Here's the 3-0, and that's ball 4. Timmerman walks on 4 pitches. 1 away at the top of the 4th. Lucky struck out in the first swinging and struck out in the second
Now batting number
looking.
4.
Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien experience love at 425 degrees. $12 Tuesdays. Buy a large pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $12 every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Order online at papamurphys.com. First pitch, ball 1. Timmerman went a little bit, pitch fouled off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Timmerman now with 14 stolen bases this year, and he has yet to get caught. Here's the pitch. You weren't looking. I was. Right off the backstop where Seth's head would have been were it not for that. In fact, is the computer all right? I think the computer got nailed by the screen there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Everything's clean on my end.
Fouled off the right side of the backstop and high. Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore specializes in commercial and light industrial construction, building lasting relationships in the tri-state area since 1992. Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore. 1-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away. And here is Wolf, who walked, stole a base, moved to third on an error, and scored on a pass ball in the first, and then walked in the second inning. 8-3 Fennimore over Lancaster with 2 out in the top of the 4th inning. And a called ball 1. What do you have for pitches at this point?
We are looking at 85 for Drenson.
Number 86 gets fouled off down the first baseline.
In the third, he started each of the batters with the first pitch strike and hasn't been quite as hot this inning with, I believe, 4 of the 5 batters getting a first pitch ball.
Doodles in Lancaster, like Doodles Pub and Eatery on Facebook for multiple daily lunch specials. Friends meet and eat at Doodles on the Square in Lancaster.
All you can eat wings Wednesday night.
That sounds good. Hit foul down the third baseline and out of play behind the Lancaster dugout.
The Platteville baseball team always does their fair share on all you can eat wing night.
I bet that you do or did.
Went there after a game in Lancaster. It was a little bit of a hostile environment, but it was good food.
1-2 with 2 out. I can understand the hostile environment at the high school, but not at Doolittle's.
I'm just kidding. Everybody was nice.
1-2. Line fair down the third baseline and headed to the corner. Going to third is Timmerman. Going to the plate is Timmerman. And he is in. The throw to third, not in time. And that's an RBI triple for Wolf.
And that's the 3rd time this ball game that we've seen a corner outfield bobble a baseball. And this one, that's a fence that's 330 feet deep. It's going to roll all the way and goes all the way to the big blue wall out there and allows him to get to third base.
That makes it 8-4. Certainly Lancaster not going away here. Here's Raggets.
Lancaster, number 44.
Singled in the first, flied to right in the second inning. First pitch is outside for ball 1. There are 2 out. 2 runners have scored in this top of the 4th inning. Lancaster with 2 in the first, 2 here in the 4th. Pitch is outside, 2-0. Fennimore with 7 in the first and 1 additional run in the second inning. 2 balls and no strikes. Dreesen came off the mound and now is back and now is ready with a pitch. And that's hit right to the shortstop, and Starkey hardly had to move to make the play. To end the inning, however, 2 runs score on a hit, a walk, and an error. 1 runner left. And our score after 3.5, halfway done, 8-4. Fennimore leads Lancaster on AM 1590 WPVL.
state-of-the-art facilities. From routine dental care to same-day crowns to clear aligners, veneers, and implants, we cover a wide spectrum of dental services. Call our team and experience patient-centered care for you and your family at Cuba City, Darlington, and Kieler Family Dental. Ask about our new patient specials. Keep smiling, Tri-States.
Get ready, car lovers. It's Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors Car Show and Customer Appreciation Day, Saturday, June 14th from 10:30 to 2:30 in Prairie du Chien. Stop by Carey's for an afternoon of awesome cars, food and drinks, store prizes, and fun for the whole family. No trophies, no judging, no pressure, just good times and great rides. That's Saturday, June 14th at Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors, Highway 18 in Prairie du Chien. In Game 7.
Bottom of the fourth inning at Kendall Murray Field at UW-Platteville, 8-4. Fennimore leading Lancaster. Also on the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. This is interesting in softball. In Division III, Richland Center, the 4 seed, leading number 2 seed Prairie du Chien 5-0 in the 7th inning. What is interesting about that, of course, is that Richland Center won the regional final 5-4 on Thursday in 8 innings in Dodgeville with a misapplication of the international tiebreaker rule, which you can play in softball. You put a runner at second in every half inning to start every half inning. Richland Center got an unearned run on an error, and they were able to get out of the bottom of the 8th inning. Now, what's weird about that? You can't do that. WIA rules state that you cannot use the international tiebreaker in the postseason in softball, but the umpires did not apparently know that. First pitch outside for ball 1 to Casey Dreesen, who has walked twice, including a run scored in the first inning. It's a little bit disconcerting to hear that you have, or to see that you have officials who don't know the rules. There's a called strike to make it 1-1. The Dodgeville High School appealed, or I should say protested the game to the WIAA, but the WIAA Friday overturned or denied the protest. And so Richland Center, as that pitch is inside, Richland Center ends up winning and is on the way, at least, to heading to the sectional final. 2 balls, 1 strike to Dreesen from Nolan Wolf, the second pitcher. He came in the second inning after the 7-run first. And there is a ball, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. You don't have the international tiebreaker in baseball, right? Because I saw no mention of it in the WIA rules.
I know it was a thing back in 6th grade baseball, but I don't think it's a thing in high school.
The 3-1 is a swing and a miss, 3 balls and 2 strikes at an outside pitch.
My claim to fame in baseball, 6th grade playoff game against Highland. As ground ball up the middle, sneak through for a base hit. Playoff game against Highland, 2 outs, 2 strikes, down by 2, man on second, whole lot of 2s. And I hit a home run inside the park down the right field line to tie it, my only home run of my career. Next inning, catch the inning, Jonah Vorwald throws a 1-2-3 inning, and then we had that guy on second, and Jonah's up to bat, gets a ball that's at his head and tomahawks a line drive through the middle to walk it off and move on in the playoffs.
Brock Henkel walked and scored in the first, struck out in the second inning, and the throw back to first in time. And he is, as far as I know, the only left-hander in the lineup today. Everybody's a right-handed hitter today for Lancaster. First pitch is a called strike at the knees. Henkel really stands on the plate, doesn't he?
He does, and he twists inside. That ball was right at his hands, but I mean, I think it's a great strike call. That's just hard for him to hit unless he really gets a turn on it.
Throw back to first is in time. Rural Mutual agents John Ragetz and Deneen Dahl with Ragetz and Dahl Insurance Group, tackling all your farm, personal, business, and life insurance need. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. That pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. 2 strikes. With nobody out and a runner at first. And now Henkel steps out of the batter's box and now steps back into the batter's box. Here is the 2-0 pitch. That's outside, and going to second on the steal is Dreesen. It was dropped by Ragetz, but I think he had the base stolen anyway. So a runner at second.
And on 2 attempts, Ragetz has kind of fumbled when they start taking off. I know the feeling when you're catching and you hear that cheer of going, and sometimes it's hard to just bring it in one step at a time. Your mind gets moving a little ahead too early.
Meanwhile, the pitch was a called strike, so that's strike 3, but the runner goes to second. Here's Falardo with 1 out, and that pitch is inside for ball 1. Falardo, the 3-run triple in the first inning, and then an infield single in the second inning, so he's 2 for 2 with a run scored and 3 RBIs. Hit to right field, and backing up and making the catch, McCartney. And holding at second is Dreesen, 2 away. And here is Kenny. Kenny with a
now batting, number 9.
Sacrifice in the first inning, and then popped to short in the second inning. And a runner at second with 2 outs. That pitch bounces up there, and going to third is Dreesen, Casey Dreesen, and that will be a wild pitch.
You can't go for a dead ball with your glove, because even if you grab it, you still got to make the transfer. If the ball's not moving, you got to grab it with the bare hand.
Bailey Excavating, excellently executing your excavation projects, including fence line and site prep, waterways, dams, and demolition. Bailey Excavating in Potosi. A ball and no strikes. Hit fouled off the top of the backstop. Good thing that net's there for us. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. Call Mike or Lane to discuss the possibilities of your next project. Proud to back the Arrows. Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. 1-1 pitch outside, 2 balls and a strike. Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank. CFBank.com, member FDIC. There's the 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike, pitch outside. Southwest Health has over 24 specialty services and more than 50 specialists, so you can have excellent care without traveling far from home. Learn more about their specialty services at southwesthealth.org. 3-1 outside ball 4. Kenny walks. First and third with 2 out. Back to the top of the order, and Starkey, who walked and scored in the first, and then later reached on an error with 2 stolen bases in the first, and then flied to right field in the third. Subs.com, fuel your fitness journey with a wide selection of products from a locally owned company. Visit their Fennimore, Dubuque, and Platteville locations, and Subs.com. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 8-4.
Now batting for
Fennimore.
Number 1, Tyson Starkey.
Lancaster with 2 runs in the top of the first, Fennimore with 7 in the bottom of the first and a run in the second. Lancaster with 2 runs in the fourth. Curve that misses inside for ball 1.
First and third, we'll see if Fennimore tries anything tricky or we'll just steal straight up. Or keep him at first. Lots of options.
So basically the whole month of August,
That finds the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. That top of the 5th inning coming up, I guess that's probably going to be the last inning for Dreesen because he will be probably out of pitches. That pitch is a strike. The throw is cut off, and they have the runner between first and second, but here comes the runner to the plate, and he will score. And getting to second, no, he's out. So did the run score or not? They end up getting the out with Kinney at second.
And I think they ran that play exactly how they wanted. Since he got stuck in between first and second, the runner was able to come home before they could get the out, which will give them the run.
It is not on the scoreboard yet, however, and they're probably trying to figure that out upstairs. Or actually, yes, it did. So the run scores, which makes the score 9-4. Fennimore leading after 4 innings on AM 1590 WPVL.
Radio has your chance to win great seats to see Milwaukee baseball. Sign up to win at Okies Market in Casco, Goodney's Garage in Platteville, Pink's Automotive in Lancaster, the Horseshoe Tavern Prairie du Chien, U.S. Cellular in Platteville, Reckler Insurance, and Boondock Sports Bar in Wazeeka. Plus catch Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, the Back Bar, and the Back Nine, and Home Key Real Estate coverage of Milwaukee baseball. Heard on AM 1590 WPVL. Presented by Napa Auto Parts of Boscoville, Pink's Automotive, and Goodney's Garage.
Some things are meant to come in a box, like chocolates, phones, or jewelry. But some things aren't, like a mattress. Hi, this is Doug Volker with the Dubuque Mattress, and there are 2 major reasons why your next mattress should not come from a box. First, when foam is compressed for too long, it loses its ability to return to its full thickness. And second, a good quality mattress, one worth the money you paid for it, is too heavy to ship by parcel service. With mattresses, lighter isn't better, period. Dubuque Mattress, for the rest of your life.
Dubuque Mattress Factory, you get a little snooze time. In game 8.
Prairie Regional Health Center and People's State Bay coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental at Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. Calls strike to John Clements to start the top of the 5th inning. Also on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Sack, Oxford Realty, and H&N Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. And Clements hits it well to left center. That'll drop for a hit. And we'll go to the wall. Clements digging for 2, and he's in there with the double.
Another fumbled ball in the outfield gives up an extra base. Something to note, that is the 93rd pitch for Dreesen, so he only gets 7 more, or at least has to start a batter with under 100. And it'll be interesting. Do you think they go to Scheckler or Starkey here, or do you think they pull somebody else out of the bullpen?
Well, I don't know that 9-4 is real secure, I guess would be my thought about that. There's a called strike to Brewer, who reached on an infield single in the first and then struck out in the third. Clements before that popped to third in the first, struck out in the third, but now is at second base. Clements 5 of 6 in stolen bases this year. And the count, meanwhile, 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch fouled off at the plate, and that bounced to the infield. That's a rather odd trajectory there.
And like you said, 9-4 is not very secure, and really not with these flying arrows. I remember a doubleheader they played right before us, low ball. They were down 10-1 against Potosi, but then in the last inning they crawled all the way back, and I believe they fell short, but only by 2 runs. And this Lancaster team is quite gritty.
Pitches outside me. Well, yeah, they haven't gone away, that's for sure. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I guess that's going to be an interesting decision. And then, assuming Fennimore hangs on to this win, who goes yesterday or tomorrow? And meanwhile, Brewer walks. So it's first and second, nobody out here in the top of the fifth. And out comes Brent Scheckler, and that is going to be it.
So the three-headed dragon for Fennimore, they got Starkey's pitched 51.1 innings from this season. Drayson with 40, Scheckler with 38. Their next guy, only 10 innings pitched. It's Hankel. Villardo's got 7.5, and everybody else after that's got less than 5. So it'll be interesting to see where they go here.
Indeed, it will. Pitching change coming up. The Butcher Shop in Fennimore offers top quality beef, pork, and chicken to fill your freezers. Short on time? Don't forget the Heat and Serve barbecue beef and pork for great tasting meals. The Butcher Shop in Fennimore. 9-4 Fennimore over Lancaster. Pitching change coming up. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
When you're faced with a challenge, how you respond determines the real winner. World Mutual believes there's something more important than winning a game. They believe that the team, school, and fans who support their athletes with dignity and class are the true champions. World Mutual is the proud sponsor of the WIAA World Mutual Insurance Sportsmanship Award since 1965. The award recognizes that sportsmanship matters in your community. Visit worldmutual.com/WIAA and see how their team and your community can work together to be true champions.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Clear your day on June 28th and head to the Brewers game for a Pat Murphy bobblehead giveaway, courtesy of Toyota. Get there early as the first 25,000 fans will take home the Manager of the Year bottle. Grab your seats at brewers.com/giveaways. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NC.
In game 9.
Tyson Starkey is warming up on the mound. 9-4 Fennimore in this top of the fifth inning. And over at first base is a pinch runner, Nolan Hankey, for Brewer. On the season, Starkey 7-0, 1-for-1 in saves, .95 earned run average, 1.15 whip. He's pitched in 11 games, 44 to third innings, given up 31 hits, 16 runs, just 6 earned. He's walked 20 and struck out 52 this season, and he will face Braden Lenz,
Lancaster, number 27, Braden Lenz,
who today walked in the first and grounded to second in the third inning. And the first pitch low for ball one. As the sun is in the process of setting down the left field line, which might be interesting if this game goes very far. The pitch 2 balls and no strikes, as the pitch was low. Although the sun is so filtered between the clouds and the smoke that I don't know if that's going to make that very much of a difference. 3 balls and no strikes. The orientation of Kendall Murray Field here is that the home plate is in the southeast corner. And off the top of my head, I'm not sure that there's another park around here that has that kind of orientation. It's the same orientation as the original Kendall Murray Field. And meanwhile, Lenz walks, and suddenly the bases are loaded.
And that's pretty nice. There's not really, even if there is a bright sun, it's not really going to be anybody's face. I mean, maybe the catcher, maybe the batter, but not particularly. I know
a left-handed batter, perhaps.
Perchance.
Yeah.
I know in Lancaster, if you're playing out there in left field, the sun is brutal.
Called strike to Hendricks, who grounded to third in the first, reached on an error and scored in the fourth inning. He scores the bunt, but it's foul.
Tried the squeeze with Clemens coming home.
And the ball ended up in the Fennimore dugout.
does a good job to spoil a high pitch on a sacrifice. You really can't pull back because it leaves your runner out to dry.
Nobody out top of the fifth. 9-4 Fennimore, the 0-1 pitch. Inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Correction, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Corners in, middle deep. For the
Call
Fennimore
strike
defense.
3 on an outside corner pitch. 1 away in the top of the fifth.
Corners will stay in, trying to go home. Middle of Fennimore defense will try to turn 2.
Bowden singled in the first, and a sacrifice, or the second inning, excuse me, and a sacrifice in the fourth, and he takes a called strike.
Dresden throw well. He had some good velocity, but I think his control was his key. There's a high ball.
Center field, and the catch is made. Runner coming in from third will score, and it's 9-5. So sacrifice fly. Bowden gets an RBI out of that. Clemens scores, and everybody else stays put. The pinch runner, Hankey, at second, and lends it first, back to the top of the order. And Timmerman reached on an infield single, 2 stolen bases and a run scored the first, struck out looking in the second, walked and scored in the fourth. And first, Starkey steps off. So who is at shortstop? I should have figured that out first. Pitch is a called strike or a swing and a miss for a strike.
I believe McCoy Miles, number 2.
He moves from left field. Next pitch. Check swing upstairs for a ball, so there is a new left fielder because Miles started in left field. Hit to right field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Runner around third will score. And getting to third after Hankey scores, Lenz gets to third. RBI single for Timmerman, his second hit of the game. That is 9-6.
Timmerman does a great job taking what's given to him, gets the outside pitch and takes it that way for a nice opposite base hit.
Shade Lucky struck out swinging in the first, looking in the second, and swinging in the fourth.
First and third here, 2 outs. Wouldn't be surprised if on the steal they do go to throw down.
There's the steal, and going to second without a throw is Timmerman. That gives him 3 stolen bases today and 15 on the season. So it's second and third, and with 2 out, pitch fouled off down the first base line. It is 9-6. And if you thought 16-12 was how the game was going to turn out, which was the first meeting between these two teams, that's been closer than a more tight prediction. Swing and a miss, meanwhile. And count 1 and 2 with 2 out.
Lucky's had a tough day. 3 strikeouts and 3 at-bats, but a base poke somewhere could score 2 here.
1-2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Second and third. Well, if he can get a base hit, that makes things really interesting, obviously. Here's the 2-2. And a grounder to short. And the throw to first from Miles in time. And that ends the inning, but 2 runs score on 1 hit. Correction, 2 hits, 2 left. After 4 1/2, 9-6 Fennimore on AM 1590 WPVL.
Great seats to see Milwaukee Baseball. Sign up to win at Hokies Market in Cassville, Whitney's Garage in Platteville, Pink's Automotive in Lancaster, the Horseshoe Tavern Prairie du Chien, U.S. Cellular in Platteville, Breckler Insurance, and Boondock Sports Bar in Wazeeka. Plus catch Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, the Back Bar, and the Back Nine, and Home Key Real Estate coverage of Milwaukee baseball. Heard on AM 1590 WPVL. Presented by Napa Auto Parts of Boscoville, Pink's Automotive, and Goodney's Garage. Are you thinking of buying or selling a home? Hit a home run with Home Key Real Estate. Kim Bussin is your local real estate expert and 5-star agent buying. They have a state-of-the-art website for all your searching needs. They provide first-time homebuyer assistance with the experience to help you find your perfect dream home. Selling? No problem. Ask about their discounted commission rates, free home evaluation, and available live or online auction services. Call one of our agents or call 608-642-0750 and ask for Kim. For your key to the future, go to homekeysearch.com today.
In game 10.
Bottom of the 5th inning at Kendall Murray Field on the campus of UW-Platteville. What a kind of odd game this has been. 9-6 Fennimore. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, each team is on its second pitcher. As Nolan Wolf came on in the 2nd inning to replace the starter Shea Lucky for Lancaster after the Fennimore 7-run first inning.
Wolf has done well in 15 batters faced. He's only thrown 52 pitches, which is good to keep him under the count. He's thrown 30 strikes in those pitches, so he's been pretty efficient. Allowed 2 runs, but compared to the first, that's pretty minimal damage.
Starkey was at the plate when the runs scored on the missed up pickoff. And the first pitch, ball 1. Before that, as we mentioned, walked and scored the first, reached on an error and 2 stolen bases in the 2nd, and then flied to right in the 3rd. Actually, late in the 1st inning was the reaching for the 2nd time. This has not been exactly a cleanly played game, certainly. 2 balls and no strikes. And Starkey takes a called strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the winner today will play Fennimore. No, this is this game, isn't it? The winner will play New Glarus or Mineral Point. And let's see, what was last score we had? Meanwhile, the count 3 balls and a strike. The update from New Glarus, the 3-1 pitch, ball 4. So Starkey walks. He has been on base 3 times today. It is now 4-1 New Glarus at the top of the 7th inning. So Middle Point down to its final bit of the season. Yankee Fiedler doubled and scored in the 1st, walked later in the 1st, and then singled and scored in the 3rd inning. He's been on base every time today. I guess that's not too surprising when it's a 9-6 game, isn't it? Throw back to first in time, or in time getting back, I should say, is Starkey.
Starkey is getting an aggressive lead every time. Swing and a miss.
And then meanwhile, Richland Center will go to the sectional final 8-0 over Prairie du Chien. So they have beaten the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed, both from their conference. Both of those on the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. One other game in progress, River Ridge leading North Crawford 7-3, top of the 7th. That's on X1071. That winner will play Highland. There's a pitch, throw to first, and a rundown in progress. Here's the throw, and getting tagged out is Starkey.
Shea Lucky comes all the way from 3rd base. Great play on the pickle to get the tag. And I think Starkey, he didn't read the pitcher wrong, but he thought the throw was going to go high. Brewer makes a great grab at first base, brings it down, and gets him stuck where they want him.
So Yankee Fiedler now with nobody aboard, and the count 1 strike with now 1 out. And the pitch inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Also on the shoebox scoreboard today, Belmont over Barneveld 7-4. That was on 97.7 Country WGLR. Braves go to the sectional final in softball. 1-1 pitch outside, 2 balls and a strike. And Cuba City beats Prairie du Chien in baseball 1-0. That was on Super Hits 106. Cuba City will go to Dodgeville tomorrow. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-2. So Belmont plays for a state trip Thursday. Mineral Point plays for a state trip Thursday. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yankee Fiedler retired, 2 away. And here is Ethan Scheckler, fly to center in the first. That was a sacrifice fly. Fly to left in later in the first, and then popped to first in the third.
Don't want to be too bold here, but my prediction is he's going to put something on the ball here. He's been just under it 3 times now.
Called strike.
I have a feeling he's not going to miss it the 4th time.
Well, as we mentioned, this is a huge ballpark by high school standards. Here's the 0-1. Fouled right side, headed to the crowd, and bounces, in fact, over the bathroom and out of play. That's a good size shot. Two strikes with 2 out, and the base is empty. And here is the pitch. Outside 1, and did he go around? No, he didn't. 1-2. Reagan's set up outside. There's a little too much outside as the sun starts burning through the haze. Again, 1-2 with 2 out. 2-2, despite Raggett's attempt to frame that pitch.
That call has been really 50-50 all day, that bottom outside corner. We've seen it go both ways.
2-2. And Raggett's wanted strike 3. Jumped up and down. Didn't get the call. 3-2 with 2 out. Ethan Scheckler, speaking of, actually, McCoy Miles on deck. Here's the 3-2. Chopper in the hole and passed into left field for a base hit.
Well, he didn't smash anything, but does the job. Puts it right in that tough spot between third and short.
That makes him 1 for 4. Here's Miles. RBI single and the run scored in the first. Singled and scored in the second inning. Struck out in the third. So he's 2 for 3, 2 runs scored at an RBI. 9-6 Fennimore with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Scheckler, I believe he has 1 stolen base this year. That's it. But you know, if you're the starting catcher, you're not going to run a lot. That pitch is inside. Among other things, typically catchers and pitchers obviously get courtesy runners, but obviously not if they're good base runners. And now Reagan's will come out to home plate, or to the pitcher's mound. 2 balls and no strikes. We're brought to you by Mound City Bank. The Total Line of Credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in at Mound City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Learn more at MoundCityBank.com. A look back to first, and then the 2-0 pitch. Called strike, 2-1.
Looking at the season stats, Fennimore is aggressive. They have been caught stealing more than most teams, 27 times this season. However, they have 95 total stolen bases. So
runner goes. Pitch is hit foul down the right field line and out of play. Well, and you remember Brent Scheckler in our Rowdy Cheese pregame show did say that they kind of went out of their way to be aggressive, and it caught them sometimes. But, you know, when you have that many stolen bases and you're stealing 3 out of 4, basically, or 4 out of 5, that makes the other team think, if nothing else.
And when you're 21-3, it's hard to argue with the results.
That pitch gets away on an inside pitch, and going to second on, well, that's got to be a passed ball, right? Because it bounced off the catcher's glove.
Right through the glove.
So Scheckler to second. And the count 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Corey Dreesen on deck. Here's the 3-2. And it hit him.
He did turn into it, so they're...
And he's going to go to first. Miles is okay. He was kind of grabbing his wrist, but he's all right. Well, Dreesen, RBI single and a run scored in the first, walked in the second, and popped to the pitcher in the third. So, how many pitches have we had in this game at this point?
It's holding it up from both sides here. It's been a long one.
First and second, 2 out, 9-6 Fennimore. First pitch is swing and a miss.
Nolan Wolf is up to 74.
And he, remember, started in the second inning on the mound. That's hit up the middle and caught by the second baseman, Hendricks, on a line drive to end the inning. So after all of that, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 left. And after 5 in the regional semifinal, Fennimore 9, Lancaster 6 on AM 1590 WPBL.
It's time for a change.
At People's State Bank, they believe in low fees that put you first.
Tired of being charged for using your debit card, sneaky paper statement fees, or monthly maintenance fees?
With People's State Bank's People's Checking Account, those fees are a thing of the past.
Worried about ATM fees?
At People's State Bank, they reimburse you for up to 3 ATM fees per month. They work hard to keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket.
Make the switch to People's State Bank today. Visit a branch near you or peoplesfinancial.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Doug Bolton with Dubuque Mattress. Mattresses are not something that you should have to unbox and set up yourself. Frankly, they're cumbersome. That's why at Dubuque Mattress, we deliver, set up, and get rid of the old mattress for you. And it's not just for people in Dubuque. We deliver just about anywhere. Chicago, Des Moines, Minneapolis, Kansas City, or anywhere in between. So, when it's time for you to get a new mattress, let Dubuque Mattress take care of all of it for you. Dubuque Mattress, for the rest of your life.
Dubuque Mattress Factory, you get a little snooze time. In Game 11.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of WIA playoff baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Slack Auction Realty and H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. 9-6. Fennimore leading Lancaster as we go to the 6th inning. Nolan Wolf will lead off. And takes ball 1.
And as we talked about right before we left, through 5 innings, Fennimore has thrown 117 total pitches as they grab the bottom of the zone there for a strike called. And Lancaster's thrown 123, which totals to 240 total pitches.
And that is a base hit to left field and going all the way to the wall. And Wolf has a double. So Wolf, with his second hit of the day, he had a single in the fourth and then a pair of walks, and he has scored a run.
So
and go ahead.
That's the interesting of playing at Kendall Murray Field is that ball bounces off the wall. I think that ball's gone in Fennimore or Lancaster.
Ragetz singled in the first, flied to right in the second, lined to short in the fourth, and he's going to get an intentional walk.
Lancaster fans not happy about that.
Well, here's the thing. That brings up the tying run to the plate. Clements.
And Clements did get moved up a spot, typical to his normal batting position of 6, but it's well-deserved. He had a rough middle of the season, beginning of the season, batting, about under 150, but it's got it up all the way to about 260, I believe.
He squares the bunt, and it's fouled at the plate for strike 1.
Can't hit the ball twice with your bat.
Popped to third in the first, struck out in the third, doubled and scored in the fifth. And he is the tying run at the plate. And an interesting decision, to say the least, to have him to put the tying run on at the plate with nobody out. That's a ball outside.
Fennimore first baseman playing almost halfway from home to first, as Fennimore wants to take away the bunt.
And there's the throw to third. It's high and grabbed by the third baseman, Yankee Fiedler. And meanwhile, getting to second is Ragetz on the double steal. So now it's second and third and nobody out. Brent Scheckler out, arguing something.
He believes that Clements didn't get out of the way of the throwdown at third.
Now the two umpires.
One being Dan the Man.
Dan Sedgwick. I had heard he was here, and I wasn't sure where he was, but figured he was out in the field. So, second and third, nobody out after the double steal. And that's hit right back to the pitcher, and spearing the ball is Starkey, one away.
And that was a hard hit ball. Really can't ask for anything more, but just a great heads-up play on defense.
Brewer, an infield single in the first, struck out in the third, walked and scored in the fifth. And takes a called strike. 9-6 Fennimore. I have not even gotten a chance to add up runs and hits and errors and all that. That's fouled off. In fact, I think I'll wait until the half inning to do that. Ritchie Implement in Cobb, Barneville, Darlington, and Lancaster. See your inventory and employment opportunities at ritchiesinc.com. Pitch is upstairs. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. And again, the tying run at the plate. And that's hit to right field, a base hit. 1 run comes in. Here's the throw to the plate. It's up the line, and it's 9-8. As Brewer gets a 2-run single.
Huge, timely hitting. Puts it right in a good spot, right between first base and second base. Good throw by the right fielder, but better base running.
Out comes Brent Scheckler. And I think we're going to see a pitching change here.
Wow. They're going to bring in the left fielder. I don't know if he's coming to pitch or if they're just moving guys around. Ethan Scheckler keeps the gear on, so he won't go to pitch. Left fielder comes in to sit.
So who is pitching? Well, it's 9-6.
Looks to be number 11, Brock Henkel.
So Henkel, who was the DH today, is now going to come in. And my scorecard is continuing to be full of papers. So that's the reason there is a new left fielder, I think, because Henkel DH for Chappell, who must have moved from right to left when Miles went from left to shortstop. So who is the new left fielder? At the moment, there isn't anybody. So Henkel comes in, and Henkel on the season, no record, 4.38 ERA, 1.50 WHIP. He's pitched in 6 games, 8 innings, given up 3 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, walked 9, and struck out 12. And I have to think that maybe Brent Scheckler is thinking about tomorrow as to why he's not throwing Scheckler. Because Scheckler's 5-0, and he may well be the guy who goes tomorrow, but you have to get to tomorrow, and right now, the tying run, Brewer is at first. 2 runs have come in this top of the 6th inning. It's 9-8, Fennimore leading Lancaster. Lancaster with 2 in the first, in the top of the first. Fennimore with 7 in the bottom of the first, 1 in the bottom of the second. Lancaster with 2 in the fourth. Fennimore with 1 in the fourth. Lancaster with 2 in the fifth, and now 2 in the sixth. Lends the tying run at the plate. He walked in the first, grounded to second in the third, walked in the fifth. And time is called as Brewer, the tying run. That is Brewer, correct? Yeah, Brewer first. He had been pinch run for earlier. And I think if they pinch run for him again, he has to come out. First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Brewer not going anywhere.
They did use their re-entry to bring him back in.
So he can't, if they take him out for a pinch runner, he's done.
Correct.
1-0 pitch. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Last time Henkel pitched was the last game Fennimore played against Belmont. He threw 2 innings. He threw 28 total pitches, got the save, allowed 1 hit, got 1 strikeout.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Well, one thing about Henkel, as with almost every left-handed pitcher, his delivery is a little bit unusual, I think. Swing and a miss. He actually looks a little bit like, now here's a name you don't probably know, Ron Guidry, who was a left-handed pitcher for the New York Yankees in the 70s and the 80s. That is grounded foul down the third base line, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And got to avoid the double play here. This will be 7, 8, 9 coming up, so Lancaster's going to do everything they can to, if they can't get to the top of the order this inning, give the top of the order a chance in the top of the 7th.
Ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. And the pitch, check swing. Did he go around? Dan Sedgwick says yes, he did. 2 out. That's the first time that Lenz has been retired in this game. Here's Hendricks, grounded to third in the first, reached on an error and scored in the fourth, and then struck out looking in the fifth.
Number 10, Elliott Webster.
And instead, it is going to be Elliott Webster. And he takes ball 1. Webster this season, 303 batting average, 676 OPS with 6 RBIs. And he is the go-ahead run at the plate, but swings and misses here. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Inside and low, 2 balls and a strike. Ball gets away, but Brewer's not going any place from first. And it's 2-1. Oh my! Well, may I be the first to congratulate the Boscobel Bulldogs, who have won the regional over DeSoto 4-2. And the 2-1, meanwhile, here is 3 balls and a strike. So Boscobel, after knocking off number 1 ranked Seneca yesterday, gets the win over DeSoto, and they're going to play in the sectional next week. That is unbelievable. And there's a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Let's see who Boscobel will play now. They are going to play, well, they'll play either River Ridge or Highland coming up. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out. Thanks for the correction. And now time called as Hinkle steps off and Brewer goes back to first, or back to standing on first. Now Hinkle back on the pitching rubber, looks in, and delivers the 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, that's ball 4. So Brewer goes to second. Tying and go-ahead runs are aboard after Webster's walk. Here's Bowden. Singled in the second, sacrifice in the 4th, and in the 5th. And out comes Brent Scheckler again, and I wonder if that was just a one-time thing of bringing Hinkle in to pitch.
And that'll be their, I believe, 4th mound visit, so per MLB rule, they don't get any more.
Well, I guess we'll see what they're up to here with 2 out, unless he's talking to their defense. Southwest Health, meanwhile, has over 24 specialty services and more than 50 specialists, so you can have excellent care without traveling far from home. Learn more about their specialty services at southwesthealth.org. Doolittle's in Lancaster, because you're certainly thinking about dinner if you haven't had it yet. Like Doolittle's Pub and Eatery on Facebook for multiple daily lunch specials. Friends meet and eat at Doolittle's on the square in Lancaster.
Number 13, Max Bowden.
All right, well, here's Bowden, and Hinkle will stay in. This could be a talk about, look, the guy at the plate is the important guy here. 9-8, Fennimore, and a swing and a miss. 2 outs in the 6th, top of the 6th. Brewer, the tying run, is at second, and Webster, the pinch hitter, is the go-ahead run at first, the 0-1, and that is hit, foul, a base hit down the left field line, or is it? What did they call it? They call a foul ball. And Brian Knapp is incensed over the call. And so the count 2 strikes.
Is a foul call overturnable?
No, I don't think it is. No, it wouldn't be.
That's a tough one.
2 strikes with 2 out. No, because the play's, as soon as he says foul, the play's dead.
True enough.
So here is the 2-strike pitch, popped to the backstop, and we'll do 2-2 again, or 2 strikes again. Bailey Excavating, excellently executing your excavation projects, including fence line and site prep, waterways, dams, and demolition. Bailey Excavating in Potosi. Well, we have an interesting issue here that we'll deal with after the inning. Is the ball is hit foul and out of play. Would you believe this game has gone so long that we have like multiple battery issues with our iPhones? Two strikes with 2 out. And the pitch. Low, 1-2.
Waste a good one. Don't ever have to throw a strike 0-2. And Lancaster, I feel, I may be mistaken, but it looks like they all use the exact same bat. This colorful pink, blue, and white tipped bat.
1-2 with 2 out and 2 aboard. And a curve that misses 2-2.
Just over the strike zone on that one.
2-2 with 2 out, 2 aboard. Tying run at second. Go-ahead run is at first. Time called. This game has been something else, hasn't it? 9-8 Fennimore. 2 outs in the top of the 6th. I don't think we're done yet. Here is the 2-2 pitch. High, 3-2. Three and 2 with 2 out. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Right side erupts and cheers as Fennimore finally catches a break to get out of the inning.
2 hits lead to 2 runs. And 2 left after 5.5. 9-8 Fennimore over Lancaster on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
UW-Platteville, presented by Napa Auto Parts of Boscoville, Pink's Automotive, and Good News Garage.
Wondering what makes Wisconsin Dells the perfect summer getaway? Let's find out. Let's splash. Let's play. Let's try something completely new. Let's make sure we do this again next year. Hey, I'm working up an appetite. Let's eat. Need a guys' weekend? Let's do guy stuff. Need a girls' weekend? Let's go, girls. Need a family getaway? Let's have some together time. Wisconsin Dells, let's make this the best vacation ever. Go to wishdells.com and start planning your trip to the water park capital of the world today.
In Game 12.
Green Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio and 1590 WPVL. 9-8. Fennimore leads Lancaster. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Casey Dreesen, Hinkle, and Filardo. The runners do aboard, or the batters do up. Dreesen today walked and scored in the 1st, walked in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Correction, scored in the 4th inning. As I said, we had to fix an equipment issue, and so I still haven't had a chance to although maybe you can. Do you have runs, hits, and errors on that thing?
I do.
I'm not sure that mine add up right, but we'll see here. Here's the 2nd pitch. That is a called strike. That seemed kind of inside, but what do we know? We're not the umpires. 1-1. And even if we don't get a vote anyway.
In 21 at-bats, Fennimore has 10 hits, 8 RBIs, 9 runs. And Lancaster has 26 at-bats with 9 hits, 8 runs scored.
2 balls and a strike. And that gets away, but nobody aboard, so no harm done. So we're saying 9 runs, 9 hits for Fennimore, and 8 runs, 10 hits for Lancaster. Is that right?
Yep. Lancaster has no errors on the game. However, Fennimore has 4.
That is kind of a demonstration of how strange this game has been. And meanwhile, ball 4, and Dreesen walks. So let's see, 9 runs, 10 hits, 9 runs, 9 hits, 4 errors for Fennimore. 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Lancaster, and we're in the 300 pitch range, right?
We are. Wolf is going to have to be careful here, as I believe that gives him 80 pitches, and he's going to, if they tie it or keep it going, he's probably going to have to pitch the bottom of the 7th, so he's got about 20 pitchers to get through 2 innings.
Henkel walked and scored in the first, struck out in the second, swinging, struck out in the fourth.
17, Reese Almond.
And a pinch hitter here for Fennimore, number 17, the senior, Reese Ammon. Batting 143 on the season with 6 RBIs. Will bunt it down the first base line, but it'll go foul. Lancaster ready for the bunt. They're bringing their third baseman halfway down the line.
We are brought to you by Rural Mutual agents John Ragetz and Denise Dow, the Ragetz and Dow Insurance Group, tackling all your farm, personal, business, and life insurance needs. Call them today at their office in Lancaster. 1 strike, instead of throw to first in time. Casey Dreesen this year, 4 for 4 in stolen bases. He started the day on the mound. Now, obviously, he's not. I'm not quite sure where he is. There's the bunt down the first base line, but bounces foul. One thing that's a little different here, of course, this being a grass surface, but the first and third base lines are not dirt. They are just the painted lines, which is kind of interesting for a grass field.
Interesting traction as a runner. When you get out of the batter's box, you have to go from dirt to grass, and then you get to a base, and it goes from grass to dirt.
Runner goes, pitch is popped up.
This might be a double play.
And the catch is made, and the throw to first is in time. Dreesen, or Amon actually pops out, and the double play, and nobody aboard now with 2 out. And Filardo, who is a 3-run triple in the first inning, reached on an infield single in the second inning, fly to right in the 4th inning. And at this point, the aggressiveness on the bases may have backfired on Fennimore. Pitch is hit to right center field. And coming on and making the catch is McCartney, and we go to the 7th inning. Fennimore 9, Lancaster 8 on AM 1590 WPVL.
Brownfield Ag News has a new podcast that focuses on the latest advancements and breakthroughs in the agricultural sector. This weekly podcast features interviews about cutting-edge technologies, practices, and research that are transforming farming and food production. Each episode delves into the latest developments in the field, offering insights into how new innovations are reshaping farming, improving efficiency, and addressing global challenges. The program aims to keep agricultural professionals, researchers, and enthusiasts informed about the rapidly evolving field of agriculture. By highlighting new technologies and practices, it helps listeners stay ahead of industry trends and make informed decisions about innovations.
We go to the 7th inning, 9-8. Fennimore leads Lancaster, and as we wondered if that was going to be the case, now on the mound, Ethan Scheckler, the 4th pitcher used by Fennimore today. 5-0, 2 for 2 in saves, 1.14 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. He's pitched in 9 games, 24 and 2/3 innings, 17 hits, 11 runs, 4 earned runs. He's walked 16, struck out 46. He will pitch to the top of the order, Timmerman, Lucky, and Wolf. Meanwhile, let me see if I get all these right from your description. McCoy Miles is now catching. Brock Henkel is now in left field, and Starkey back at shortstop. Is that all of them?
Jude Kinney in center. I don't know if that's a change.
He's started. And who's in right field?
Casey Drenson. So the pitcher who started this ball game.
Okay. Also, Yaki Fiedler is at third. And Corey Drayson is at first.
Number 3, Tyler Timmerman.
Timmerman, infield singled and scored in the first, struck out looking in the second, walked and scored in the fourth, singled with a stolen base in the fifth. 9-8 Fennimore in the top of the seventh inning. And the first pitch goes to the backstop. Nobody aboard, so not a problem there. New Glarus, meanwhile, has beaten Mineral Point 4-2, so that's whoever wins this game faces next. The 1-0 pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Looks as though Scheckler's trying to get him to chase an outside pitch, and Miles comes out to talk to him. And so we'll tell you that today's game brought to you by Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Experience love at 425 degrees. $12 Tuesdays. Buy a large pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $12 every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's in Platteville and Prairie du Chien. Order online at papamurphys.com.
So since the next ball game is tomorrow,
here's the 2-0 pitch. And that is popped up right side, and coming over to get it is the second baseman, Filardo, one away.
And Filardo goes all the way to right field to make the grab, but gets the out, so that won't matter. But Scheckler will have to stay under 30 pitches if he would like to pitch tomorrow, if they get there.
Batting number 4.
Community First Bank, for in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank. See at bank.com, member FDIC. Shea Lucky struck out in the 3 times and then got a ground out. Struck out and takes a strike here. Lucky struck out swinging in the first, looking in the second, swinging in the fourth, and then grounded to short in the fifth. But everybody aboard, as there's a swing into this, everybody aboard now is the potential tying run, although tying the game with one swing of the bat is unlikely at a ballpark this large. That's outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scheckler ready. Coming from catching to pitching must be hard. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Lancaster, which never gave up after they were down 8-1, they're down to their last out. Nolan Wolf walked and scored in the first, walked in the second, singled in the fourth, singled and scored in the sixth. That was an RBI single in the 4th inning, by the way. And he's the tying run. And an overhead curve for a strike.
It's really something they don't talk about, the amount of throws a catcher puts in. They throw it as many times as there's a pitch.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Obviously, it's not the same velocity or accuracy that a pitcher needs, but it is taxing on the arm after a while.
Definitely. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also, you're squatting the whole time, obviously. That's, did he swing at it? Yes, he did. 1 and 2. And the first base coach coming in and arguing. And that, he's not done arguing either. This is interesting, but Brian Knapp also out to discuss this as to, again, it's just a judgment call, nothing more you can do about it. 2 strikes with 2 out, 9-8 Fennimore, top of the 7th inning. Winner gets New Glarus tomorrow. Scheckler delivers the 0-2 pitch. And outside, 1 and 2. Fennimore fans called that strike 3, but they don't get any more vote than the Lancaster fans who weren't happy with the previous strike call. 2 and 2 with 2 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's it. Fennimore holds on, and that's really the best way to describe it. to defeat Lancaster 9-8. And so Fennimore with their 22nd win of the season. Lancaster ends their year 12-13, though not without great effort.
Please have a safe drive home.
And Fennimore will play New Glarus, the number 4 seed, here at Kendall Murray Field at UW-Platteville tomorrow. We believe at 5 o'clock. We'll have it for you, station to be determined yet, on the Queen Bee Radio family of stations and the Queen Bee Radio family, or the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. And this time we will bring more than one charger with us. Our game today brought to you by Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. Call Mike or Lane to discuss the possibilities of your next project. Proud to back the Arrows. Hendricks Construction in Lancaster. And Subs.com. Fuel your fitness journey with a wide selection of products from a locally owned company. Visit their Fennimore, Dubuque, and Platteville locations at Subs.com. And Midwest Builders Incorporated in Fennimore, specializing in commercial and light industrial construction, building lasting relationships in the tri-state area since 1992. Midwest Builders Incorporated, Fennimore, and we'll be back 9-8. Fennimore beats Lancaster. More after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
You can make significant income while providing a great community service by becoming a WIAA licensed official. It gives you the opportunity to be involved, stay in shape, and assist in providing the lifelong lessons from education-based athletics. Signing up is easy. Just go to WIAAWI.org. Access the officials tab to get started today. This message is from Queen Bee Radio and the WIAA. Are you thinking of buying or selling a home? Get a home run with Home Key Real Estate. Kim Bussin is your local real estate expert and 5-star agent buying. They have a state-of-the-art website for all your searching needs. They provide first-time homebuyer assistance with the experience to help you find your perfect dream home. Selling? No problem. Ask about their discounted commission rates, free home evaluation, and available live or online auction services. Call one of our agents or call 608-642-0750 and ask for Kim. For your key to the future, go to homekeysearch.com today. In-game 14.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Slack Auction Realty and H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. 9-8. Fennimore beats Lancaster. The Golden Eagles will play New Glarus, which knocked off Mineral Point 4-2. And that will be tomorrow here at UW-Platteville. Game time to be determined. We'll be here on one of the stations on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. The Edward Jones Reeves Wealth Management postgame show after these messages on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL.
It is time for the Edward Jones Reeves Wealth Management post-game show. Edward Jones is a financial services firm serving individuals and business owners. Is your money working as hard as it should be? This is Elena Reeves with Edward Jones. If you want to provide for your children's education, reduce your tax bill, or prepare for a comfortable retirement, we need to talk. Today, more than ever, your financial security deserves the attention of full-time financial advisors. Take advantage of our years of experience. Contact financial advisors Elena or Ben Reeves at 608-348-2441 or stop by our office on Highways 80 and 81 in Platteville next to Subs Nutrition. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Gifted Hands Thrift Store in Galena offers low-cost clothing and household goods to the public. Shop local and support individuals with disabilities served by the Galena Workshop. The thrift store provides paying jobs to many individuals and is a stepping stone for some to get a job in the community. Donated items are accepted at the workshop on Southwest Street in Galena, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m., except holidays. Gifted Hands Thrift Store at the Galena Workshop is open Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturdays 9 till 1.
How do you give hope to a child in the foster care system? It starts with your heart. That tug you feel in yours when you hear that children are waiting for a stable, loving influence to speak up for their best interests. And then it becomes your time. What started out as a feeling that maybe you can make a difference becomes the difference. Change waiting for a volunteer like you.
Learn how you can help at nationalcassagal.org.
Post-match 1.
Grant Regional Health Center, People's State Bank, and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Slack Auction Realty and H&N Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. If you didn't tune in or watch after the first inning, you missed a lot. Fennimore beats Lancaster 9-8 and goes to the regional final against New Glarus. Want some evidence? Here's the line score. For Fennimore, 9 runs, 10 hits, 4 errors. They left 5 runners on base. For Lancaster, 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left 10 on base. Hard to believe in all of that with 4 pitchers and all of that, but the winning pitcher, Casey Drayson, who started the game, and Ethan Scheckler, who was the last pitcher, gets the save, and the losing pitcher for Lancaster was the first pitcher, Shea Lucky, who just didn't really seem to have it, ended up giving 7 runs up in the first inning. And Fennimore never lost the lead, but not for lack of trying by the arrows, that is certainly for sure.
Fennimore did a great job battling back. They scored in bunches of 2. They after the first 3 innings, they would score 2 in every inning and crawl all the way back.
Lancaster,
excuse me. And
it's easy to get confused in a game with 17 runs.
And great credit, obviously, to the bats for putting, those runs through. But I think you got to give a lot of credit to Nolan Wolf. Yes, he allowed 2 runs, but only 1 earned. He pitched 4 strikeouts, and he pitched a great 5 innings after a really slow start. It's an interesting, debate to who you're going to start when you have to play the next game. But Nolan Wolf, he did a great job, even if it's the end of his season.
So, and this is how things worked in the ball game. Lancaster got 2 runs in the top of the first. Fennimore got 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning. The key hit, probably during all that, the 3-run triple by the 8th batter, Johnny Filardo. And then Fennimore added a run in the second to make it 8-1. Lancaster got 2 in the 4th inning to make it 8-4. Fennimore got 1 to make it 9-4 in the bottom of the 4th, but Lancaster got 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. And they had the tying and go-ahead runs aboard in the 8th, but Brock Henkel got the outs to end the inning, and then Ethan Scheckler slammed the door shut in the 7th inning. As I'm looking at some stats here for Fennimore, it looks like Yankee Fiedler 2 for 2. Scheckler was 1 for 4. Miles 2 for 3, 2 runs scored and a run driven in. Corey Drayson 1 for 2 with a run scored and run driven in. Casey Drayson scored twice, going 1 for 1. And I don't know, start of the game might be Filardo again, 2 for 3 with a run scored and 3 runs driven in. And on the other side, Tyler Timmerman 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. And Nolan Wolf 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. And Connor Brewer 2 for 3 with 2 runs driven in. Bowden 1 for 1 with an RBI. Clements was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Those are kind of the highlights of the game. I'm not sure that the pitchers would like to have what their stats were in this game. The big issue, however, of course, is pitch count from now that Fennimore has run. So how does that work?
I will say, Fennimore, for as kind of a disastrous of what they had, it ended up working out maybe how they wanted it to. Bring Drenson in to pitch this game and then have everybody else for the end. It might not feel like that, but they kept Starkey under 30 pitches with 28, which lets him go tomorrow. And they have Henkel and Scheckler both under 30 with 20 and 12. So they have those 3 arms open for tomorrow. Dresden goes right off the edge of 99 pitches. So it worked out right on the edge to have all three arms available for tomorrow, obviously besides Dredson.
And again, Fennimore will play New Glarus, which beat Mineral Point 4-2. They'll be back here at Kendall Murray Field tomorrow. We'll have that for you somewhere in the Queen Bee family radio stations. Check out AM 1590 WPVL while people above our pay grade figure out what station will be doing what. Because, among other things, we have 2 softball sectional finals tomorrow. And we'll talk more about that as the Edward Jones Reeves Wealth Management Show continues, postgame show continues on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace. So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for a supportive culture. As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can be a source of support.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
What can I do? What can I do? I can remind others that none of us are alone.
And that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking a question.
Like what?
Hey, Boo-Boo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Oh.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Post-match 2.
Great Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. A crazy ball game this was, 9-8. Fennimore beats Lancaster, and we are joined now by the hitting and pitching star. Ethan Scheckler joins us. How about I turn your microphone on first? That's much better.
Oh shoot.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
I would say you haven't had a game like this, except that wasn't that what 16-12 was like the first time you guys played?
Yeah, we've had a lot of close ones. A lot of them.
And obviously, what's interesting about your team is that, I mean, obviously pitching is the thing that you put your hat on with your big three pitchers. And the other thing is you guys run, and you were very successful running today.
We do run a lot. We run a lot. Our shortstop actually just broke the single-season school record for stolen bases. So.
Okay, excellent. All right. Talk about the first inning. You're down 2-0, but obviously that didn't discourage anybody because you got 7 runs in the first.
Well, we're down 2, and then I throw that one away. So I was a little nervous, which was weird because I've been in big games like this before. So then we come back in the dugout and put up a 7th piece, and so that felt good. And then, I mean, boys came to hit. We were ready. We've been aggressive hitters all year, so it was nice. I was in the 3 spot, and I had Sean and Starkey on for me right away, and I had to line out to score the first one. And then I feel like after that, we just went crazy.
Definitely. But it turned out 8-1 8-2, wasn't enough. What happened after that, basically, the last couple of innings?
You know, man, I wish I could tell you. We kind of just gave them momentum, and they used it. I mean, they're not a bad team at all. They're a good team, and they gave what we took them, and they had gritty at bats. They put the ball in play, and pitchers threw strikes. Their guys made plays. I mean, kudos to them. They played really good.
Okay. So what'd you feel about going out there for the 7th? Because you're looking at the scoreboard, or you know what the score is, obviously. There's really no room for error for you. But
no, there's not, and I hate that. But at the same time, I love it. I had to obviously go take off all my catching stuff and get ready, and I went out to throw with my brother, and he's just sitting there talking to me. I'm like, dude, just stop. And I only got like 5 throws in, and then we had the double play, and so I'm like running over there, but I'm so thirsty, I haven't had a drink yet, so I take a drink, and I get out there, and my favorite quote is always like, pressure's a privilege. So I kept telling myself that the whole time, and I hate catching and then pitching after. So I was like, those first 2 pitches, I'm like, oh, this might be bad, because I threw those 2 pass balls and then figured it out. I was, I just love that moment. That's kind of that's where all the hard work comes in at, and it's just kind of what you live for, honestly. So.
Okay, so you're going to start tomorrow, I take it, right?
I really hope so, but I have no clue.
Okay, well, I guess you're in an interesting position pitcher-wise. Really, the only guy who pitched today who can't
is Drazen.
Right, yeah, is Casey. So you got that.
Yeah, Starkey might start too. I have no idea. Just to save me for a close again or something. I don't know though. My dad hasn't said anything, so.
Okay, well, what's it like playing for your dad, by the way?
I love it, man. I really do. It's such a love-hate relationship. Like, it really is. Like, when I was younger, like, freshman, sophomore year, me and him got into it a lot. And this year has been great. I personally, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think my dad's the best coach in the area. I really do. Like, I honestly do. And our record, I feel like, shows that pretty well. But
yeah, you've probably had the best season of anybody in the area to this point.
I love it, dude. I would be lying to you if I told you I didn't love it. But I'm excited to not have to play for him anymore at the same time. But I'm going to miss it a lot for sure. All
right. Well, there's tomorrow. You're playing New Glarus. What do you feel like you guys have to do tomorrow?
Throw strikes and hit the ball. That's all it comes down to.
Better defense, too?
Better defense.
You had 4 errors today.
Nope. Better defense for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll get your chance tomorrow.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know if you heard or not, but Boscobel won.
Did they
again.
Really? Wow. Good for them. Right. I honestly, if I had to bet money, I would have picked Boscobel. They're hot. Good for them.
They are certainly hot.
They are. That's awesome. They played us really tough one night. Like, I think it was 9-8 actually. Yeah. Okay. No, they're a good team. I hope they keep going. That's awesome.
And then Cuba City beat Prairie du Chien.
I heard that.
Cuba City gets Dodgeville tomorrow.
That'll be a good game.
And obviously your winner plays their winner up in Osseo.
Yep. Nice little hike up there.
Yeah, we're thrilled to death. But you're going to get a chance to go to the sectional. So again, congratulations. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Ethan Scheckler started at catcher, finished at pitcher, got the save, and the Golden Eagles, the winner today, by a score of 9-8 over Lancaster. And again, it will be New Glarus and Fennimore tomorrow for the regional title. We'll be right back here. Game time to be determined yet on the Queen Bee Radio family of stations, along with all the other games that we'll be covering tomorrow. We should figure out what the Tricor Turning Point is, or was, presented by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, and your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today. I guess I got 2 possibilities. What do you think?
It's interesting. You either go right at the beginning or right at the end. Honestly, I think, Lancaster almost, turned the whole game around. They really did. They brought it all the way back. But, I feel like after those 2 pitches that Scheck just talked about, when he kind of threw it wild to outside, he kind of took a deep breath, locked in, and that was really the time that Fennimore took over. He took over, and that was pretty much game over for the Flying Arrows.
Okay. That was actually not one of my picks, but I'm not arguing that point because I would say that the pitching one probably was when Brock Hinkle came in and got 2 strikeouts to wriggle out of the 2 runners aboard situation in the 6th. Then before that, all the way back in the 1st inning, when Johnny Filardo with the 3-run triple made it 7-1. That wasn't the winning run, if your definition of one more run than the other team goes. But I like yours. But yeah, that works fine. All right, 9-8. Fennimore beats Lancaster to head to the regional final against New Glarus tomorrow. We will wrap up the Culver's Cool Down with every score we can find on the Shoebox scoreboard after these messages. Let me try that again. The Edward Jones Reeves Wolf Management postgame show with the Shoebox scoreboard after these messages on AM 1590 WPBL.
Post-match 3. David Zinger welcoming you back to the Healthy Stand Classic. We couldn't ask for better conditions. 68 degrees and a UV index of 3. This direct exposure to midday sun could be increasing her risk to melanoma. It looks like she's making a change.
Well, let's see what she takes out. Oh, wow, looks like she's pulling out a 15. I don't know, looks like she's going with a 30. Strong choice. Incredible.
Stand Up to Cancer at Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
Post-match 3.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, and Darlington Family Dental and Carey Seamless Gutters and Over Doors on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, excuse me. Fennimore beats Lancaster 9-8 and goes to the regional final tomorrow night against New Glarus. Oh, by the way, this is all the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Fennimore will play New Glarus tomorrow. New Glarus over Mineral Point 4-2. Also today, Cuba City, a 1-0 win over Prairie du Chien. The Cubans will play at Dodgeville tomorrow. Dodgeville hasn't played since Monday when they beat Wisconsin Heights 1-0. And then on the other side of the bracket, Westby, a winner over Viroqua today, 6-0. So Westby will play either Auburndale or Mondovi, and that score right now is Auburndale leading Mondovi 5-4 in the bottom of the 11th. Wow. Well, that's those scores. That's in Division 3. Yeah, those are the Division 3 scores. In Division 4, River Ridge almost, well, they had to hang on also, but beat North Crawford 7-6. That was on X1071. So Highland will play at River Ridge tomorrow because Highland beat Ithaca 4-2 on Monday. And then go figure this one, Boscobel beats DeSoto 4-2 and wins the regional. So Boscobel will play the winner of the game tomorrow between River Ridge and Highland, and that will be at Blair Taylor coming up on Tuesday. And you want to look up a Belmont score while you're over there? As long as we're checking things out. In Division 4 today, actually, there's two scores we're particularly interested in. Southwestern, the 6th seed, well, make it 3. Southwestern, the 6th seed at number 3 seed, Barneveld. Pecatonica, the 5 seed at number 4 seed, Palmyra Eagle. Kenosha Christian Life, the 7 seed at number 2 seed, Belmont. And then Monticello Albany, the 9 seed at number 1 seed, Johnson Creek. We're waiting for those scores. What we will tell you, however, is of all teams, Richland Center, the winner over Prairie du Chien today, 5-0, and so the Hornets go to the softball sectional final in Division 3 against either Marshall or Poynette. That will be at Poynette on Thursday. And then also Waterloo and Random Lake, that winner will take on number 2 seed Mineral Point at Point tomorrow for a trip to state. And then also in Division 5 in softball, Belmont a winner over Barneveld 7-4, and they will take on the winner of Cambry, Friesland, and Johnson Creek tomorrow. So, did you find something?
I went to Barneveld Belmont, but you got that one.
Okay, yes. All right, so we will have 4 games tomorrow, 2 softball sectional finals, this regional final, and another game in that midst. And we have to figure all of that out. So go to am1590wpvl.com. Perhaps later tonight or tomorrow morning we'll be able to tell you everything as far as who goes where. We know we're coming back here because after this game, you know, as you can say. All right. R.J. Osterhaus is our sports director. Johnny Page is our chief engineer. Tyler Dictanis is Mr. Streaming Fix-It if necessary. Thanks to Jim Prohaska and the staff at Fennimore High School and Michael Knipe and the staff at UW-Platteville. Thanks to our sponsors, who helped us bring this game to you, and thank you for joining us. Anything else you want to say?
Great ball game, great competitive ball game out of both of these two teams, and excited to see Fennimore keep going, and props to Lancaster on a fantastic season.
And we will be back tomorrow. Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of WIA Playoff Baseball presented by Cuba City, Kieler, Darlington Family Dental, and Carey Seamless Gutters and Overhead Doors. It is a Queen Bee Radio Sports presentation on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL Platteville, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, powered by Tim Slack Auction Realty and H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical. Fennimore beats Lancaster 9-8. Golden Eagles host New Glarus for the regional title tomorrow. For the Wolf Construction broadcast table, for Seth Wilson and Steve Prestigard, ESPN Radio is next. We'll be back for more playoff